There we go. Should be fine. Like I was just saying, computer decided it was going to do a reset this morning without me knowing. So lost a load of stuff. There you go. Should be able to hear me now. All right. Hope you're good. As always, starting on the daily chart. All right. Yeah, my glasses are struggling to see here. So you can see we're doing the rotation, the same rotation that we've done for 6 weeks now. All right. 6 weeks. Okay. Nothing's changed. Look above and fail. And look below and fail. All right. And we talked about these coming down into these 7 and 600s, the key rotation between 25,000 and then 900 to 6 and 7s. All right. And we're just done. That's all we've done. So yesterday, set the inside bar. Overnight, we're starting to fail this key level and we're testing the lower side of this sort of 6 and 7s. You can see here, 200-day SMA, lower Bollinger Band. All right. We find acceptance under that, then we can look for lower prices. Until then, we're expecting rotation. All right, so we're expecting. That's all the market's giving right now. Ideally, we start moving lower, but we can't front run anything. We have to wait and see what happens. Moving into the higher time frames, or into lower from that, I should say, into the hourlies. All right, just stick with me here on the hourlies and move this up. All right, you can see previous week's range. Previous week's value, we have extended so far this week, value a little bit higher coming into the top side of this supply, not quite making it to these 280s and 300s, right? So we had the chance to build out one of these, right? We failed, right? We failed to hold. They could not hold this liquidity level around the 900. So once we snapped that yesterday afternoon and overnight, you can see the next thing to do is to come down into this old point of control. We've dipped just under it. We've tapped into value for the week, okay? And we're gonna... Why is previous week point of control up there? That is down here. There we go. And we've tapped into it for that last move, and now we're trapped between this liquidity here. So we have supply now because we've moved away. If we think about all this volume, might well be trapped now topside. So we're watching sort of 940s, 950s, that kind of level for a reject, which so far it's done this morning. Right, for that rotation back down. If we start losing the 7s, we're going to move to 6s, all right? And it's here where my interest starts to perk, right? This is our sort of over-under level into the 6s because it's got two options here, all right? We can do one of these and try and bid and a reclaim, right? We can do one of these and a failed push on a second leg and a break underneath and back. And then we can also fail underneath the 7s and come for the 6s. Now, if they don't bid here, they're in trouble, right? Because this will start to be looking for downside pressure under this range. And remember, this was a straight move up, right? Part of the Fugazi. This is the big Fugazi candle. This is the Trump, the war's over candle. The war isn't over, folks. It's nowhere near over, right? Tankers are still getting blown to shit. He's still begging people, trying to convince people to get the tankers going through. Why? Because otherwise oil prices are going to go through the roof. This could be an extended war if he's not careful. So this here is the Fugazi. This was the start of them pricing it in. If we start losing 6s, we will move to 4s, all right? If we start losing 4s, we're going to move to low of week. So those are the levels that we're watching. Those are the levels we're watching. In fact, let me just move this up a bit for 4s. Node in here. Need to get a move on here. All right. GEX levels are above right here. You can see we're in negative right now underneath the 900s. All right. So you can see very clearly the shelf that we built that we didn't hold. Negative GEX. Into the 7s, finding a bid back to 9s. 9s to 7s is your rotation this morning. What we do outside of that becomes important. We claim 9s, upside. Lose 7s, downside to 4s like we talked about. All right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple this morning. Those are the areas I want to trade in. Don't really want to trade between them. I want to trade those areas and those areas only if possible. Move these down. All these changes to that. All right. Got to get a move on, Alex. You got to get a move on. All right. Let's get into the ES and the spiders and then through the mag quickly. All right. It's the same story across the board. You can see that put the blue box now is red. All right. We've lost that level. 780s. If we start losing, start rejecting the 60s like we are so far, so we lost the 80s. All right, we lost the 80s. Rotation down, midpoint. Right, failing to reclaim. Downside pressure. Not a great location to short now. The best location was there. All right, so we need to wait now to see if we see continuation and follow through underneath, or if they rebid and reclaim. So the same story on ES, exactly the same story on ES as we had in NQ. All the time we're heavy under 60s and 80s, you're looking for downside pressure. Underneath 700 whole number, you're looking for the 50s, all right, underneath this pivot here. So annoying, it's lost all of these. Okay, let's get into the spiders. Okay, into this key pivot. All right, the 70s, same story. All right, 75s. The loss of 75s caused the drift into 70s. Rejection back there in front of 75s, back into 70s. You lose 70s, you're going to see a downside pressure back down to these 60s. This is a big level. Look, dum 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 dum. All right, liquidity is trapped above. This is the level. All right, you lose 70s, you're down into these 65s. All right, so you're watching 70s and 75s. So all the time rejection, 75s, rotation, 75s to 70s, rotation, acceptance above, squeeze, acceptance below, flop down to the current week lows, and it's going to be pretty much the same on the Qs, right? There's your level, bang. All right, chop, 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 lost the level, rejecting the level, 605, 606s to 600. Remember, 600 was the biggest wall that we've seen in 15 years. They lose that, they're going to see downside pressure back down to the lows again. Okay, let's go through the mag quickly. 7 minutes left. All right, Dixie's still holding a bid just sub 100. All right, and this thing might break out. This thing looks like it wants to break out of this top side of the range here today, possibly. All right, VIX as well, by the way, stays elevated. Everyone talking about the VIX dying. It's nowhere near dying, guys. This is elevated. All right, this is still in an upward grinding channel of high possibility of volatility. All the time we're over 20s, all the time we're over the teens. It's very volatile, right? VIX needs to come back down here for us to get into a calmer market again, all right? It's not. It's holding higher lows, okay? Very, very careful with that right now. All right, let's go through the mag. Apple, so far holding key pivot, but failing to reclaim 262s, right? There's the chop. That's the next level to reclaim, all right? It's got to reclaim here, all right? It has to reclaim that to get going. So far, every drive up there is failing. So you're bidding at 57s, trying to get over 62s. There's your rotation. You can see it on the, what was that, on Tuesday. All right, so just stuck in rotation. We lose 57s, downside pressure. We get over 62s, squeeze for that inverted head and shoulder kind of look with an extra leg. And it's probably going to be similar across the board right now. Amazon, that's relative weakness. All right, chop here, breakout, fail to reclaim top side of this range. Right, rejection of supply, back down to here. Here's your rotation. 16s to 10s, you lose 10s, downside pressure. That simple. You lose 10s, downside pressure. That is gapping down. Goog. Another gap down. Let's just zoom out of here a bit. Not actually as bad. So I would say Goog needs to hold a pivot here. It's gapping down. Ideally, they don't want to lose these 305s, 304s. Right, big drive up. 305, 304s. You lose that. 300s very, very quickly coming. All right, so you want to see Goog hold 305, 304s for a continuation towards 315 this week. You lose that, 300, 295 very, very quick. All right, there's the liquidity build. Liquidity, fail, look below, squeeze above, liquidity build, fail to hold this, 300, 295. All depends whether these catch a bid today. We're not in a risk-on environment, I'll tell you that much. All right. Meta right stuck in the middle. All right, nothing to do with that. I would leave that the hell alone. That's not a tradable asset right now. Microsoft, not actually too bad. All right, there's your look below and fail. There's the inverted head and shoulder. There's the drive up. There's the pivot right in here. 402s. Hold 402s. This can be a continuation for higher. Remember, this has seen relative weakness with software, so it might catch a bid if software catches a bid. If we lose 402s and 400s, then you're going to see downside pressure, right? So it's 402s and 400s on Microsoft. You want to see it hold a bid for a drive over 410, 415s. NVIDIA, this is the important one. This must hold here now. It's done all this hard work, all right? Big breakdown. Never got under 70s. It's driving up. You want to see it start to base above the 82s and 85s now. Top side of this range for a squeeze. If you start losing 82s, we're coming 80 and we might slide down, because what you don't want is this to be a look above and a failure. It's what you really don't want on NVIDIA if you're trading that. Tesla, same kind of story. There's your range. There's the mid of the range. There's the undercut. There's the reclaim. There's the look above. There's the hold. All right. So you want to see this hold in here now. 400s for the drive higher. Remember, again, this thing's been selling off. Right. So if it's a big if, I'd really like to see it undercut this first. Maybe it did actually. If they can start holding a bid over 400, we know 420s has been key for about 12 months. Over that, squeeze potential to come and clean out all these stops. But you lose 400 and you start drifting back into the 90s and 80s, we're in trouble. It's done a lot of work to sort of pivot off these lows after that undercut. All right, let's have a quick look at software. Oracle continuing to hold gains. I would just want to see Oracle hold 57s. All right, I'm long in this, obviously. I've been long in this for a little while since down here. All right, and we're starting to look a bit better. So any kind of hold here, we can start seeing an upside squeeze. All right, we don't want to come back into this range in Oracle. That would be a bad look. AMD, yeah, it's not great. Ranging, possible downside pressure if it loses this. Like I said, P ratio is too high on that right now. Hood, not really having that drive out. Remember, we caught that. We're waiting to see if it can catch a next leg, but so far no good. Netflix, I'm waiting for it to come back down to rebid on it. Again, we're long Netflix from the 70s. All right, filled most of that gap towards the 100s. I'm waiting for a pullback to buy back into. That's simple right now. And that's us, folks. Had to get through that quick because it was running late. All right, it was running late. Let's get the H contract, please. There we go. All right, how are we doing on the book here? Shame I wasn't available for these drives up and rejections. Those were very, very clean this morning. These moves here, that is about as good as you get. 3 drives into supply. Uno, dos, tres. Thanks very much. That's really good. So I don't really want to be a short seller down here, even with momentum good. So we're going to have to wait for a break below and continuation. Otherwise, we're not going to get anything. That's just the name of the game right now. Make sure my levels are correct on this. Yeah, we want to be careful. We're holding that level right now from, what day was this? March 8th. I'm going to be careful here on the open. Let it figure itself out for a minute. See if they can squeeze this up, and if we can do anything with it, if it comes up to reject that key area we have been looking for. So rejecting previous weak point of control to start. A downside pressure is still present. Let's give this a minute to shake out. I want to be short on this at the moment today, but I know we're in a range rotation, so I've got to be careful. So the best short will be up here, like a look above Globex and fail would be the best short. We have gap fill potential if it really wants to get going. Most of the mag open up red. Microsoft the only one that isn't. Remember, that's had relative weakness. So with software finding a bit of a bid the last week. Slow open here. Slow open here. Because we're right stuck in the middle. When you look at those hourlies, they just look not very good. Not very good. Pop's starting to be sold into this morning so far. Back into these 750s, testing the low of pre-market here. Globex down at what? Basically just sub 700s. Let's see where that seller came in just before the open. Just under 800s. Okay. So into this grey box, I want to see if we're going to see downside pressure and a slide here, which it looks like we are. And we might drift all the way down into 7s and then 6s. So I want to see if pops start to fail now that they've done this first move. Buyers came in over 70s in that opening 1 minute candle. So I've got something to play against if they do want to stay heavy. So there's the push back up to 70s into that New York open. And if they get through here, they have a chance to go back to VWAP, but let's just see. This is the level we're just saying I want to see how they operate around here. Here comes the squeeze. Much slower, tighter range in that opening 2 minutes here, just 40, 50 points. That sounds like a lot, but compared to what we've had the last few weeks, slow down a bit. All right, failing the New York Open. Has it lost this as well now? Are these all wrong again because it can't save? Oh my God. Thanks, Mr. PC. There we go. These are going to be wrong on here as well. Do they come up to VWAP? And then do we see downside pressure after that? Not in a rush here, folks, because there isn't really much setting up. We're not high enough or low enough for me to really want something right now. I'm not even convinced about that. What's this level here? That's your rotation zone. Sorry, folks, talking to myself while I sort these out. Okay. Come on, market. Let's do something. I'd love us to come up towards the 9s would be great, and then can look for something. Okay, here's the move towards the 8s and previous week point of control where we rejected on that opening drive. And VWAP and through that now into the lower time frame algo. So they're still bidding down here at the moment. I want to see if we can come up here and if we start selling up there. That's what I'm going to wait for at the moment. Yes, finding a bid on that 670. Sorry, SPY finding a bid on that 670. So right in those gamma levels. VIX over 25, yeah. If it keeps basing over 25, it's got to get through 27 first. We're highly elevated. If it starts getting through 27, that's a big pivot. If you look at the sort of afternoon move on Monday and Friday, that's that pivot into 27. You get over that on the VIX and we see downside pressure on the market for sure. They just look like they want to fill a few orders up here from Globex at the moment. Really not a lot to do here, folks, unfortunately, just with where we've opened. This is the first day we've opened sort of a bit slower and in this kind of range, and that's why. $900 then downside would be good. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. We might not even get that high at the moment, but let's see. At the moment, we keep getting stuck at VWAP and previous week point of control here. This is value from previous week, this grey box. So if we get acceptance over that, we can lift to 900s. If they keep getting stuck here, I wouldn't be surprised to see downside pressure step back into the market. But, you know, we're at the same, like, it's just Groundhog Day, guys. It's Groundhog Day since the 4th of Feb. Over a month now in this same range. Okay, stuck there. We're starting to develop some volume here, so let's get some volume on. Stuck at previous week's point of control kind of area. It's a decent shelf here. So if they start letting go of 8s convincingly, this can be the higher time frame leg up that's sold into All right, so what the question is, we've lost this. This is previous week's level. All right. If we reject this, if we start losing this and building liquidity, we can move down. If they need to do a second leg, I'm still going to look for that. I'm not really going to be bullish until we reclaim up here. I'm going to try and stay pro trend for that move down. If we reclaim, right, if we do this and reclaim, I'll be bullish. Nothing to do. They're trying to lift this higher at the moment, up towards previous day low maybe. Mag now all red. All right, so even Softy's gone red. So sell pressure coming in on the mag. VIX not doing much. Finance has got hammered this week so far for those of you trading the ES. Starting to see JP Morgan and such in a bit of trouble. You just wonder if we have a liquidity and credit crisis on the way. There's the drive. Oh, come on, market. Let's do something. Oracle, nice bid today, almost 3% up. So continuation after that big move on earnings. Those swings should be paying for everyone who's in Discord. I can get my swing account open, see where we're up. Okay, back to the 8s here. I'm going to watch this if we fail to move higher. Yeah, Oracle, we're 26% up off those buys, guys. We look really good. It's a really nice move in just a matter of weeks. Really, really good. Just chopping around, folks. I'm just going to wait for this thing to make a move, either a look above and a failure, or a drive up that gets sold into, or continuation kind of trade at some point. I'm not going to get long here. There's just no way. I'd rather just let it come and retest a level before I think about doing anything at all. If we start to lose, we are developing a shelf here at 800s. If they start to lose 800s, we're going to move to 780s pretty quick. And if there's downside pressure underneath the New York Open, then it's going to force my hand to get short down here. It's not really what I want to do, but it means we're not going to move higher. So here's the 800 test again. If they start to lose this, here we go. We're going to move down towards the 780. So this is key now, how we operate here. If they can't absorb this, we will move lower. So good attempt at absorption there. That was a very, very quick wick, soaked up very, very quickly. So versus the 80s, we got down to 91s, didn't even get to that 85 lot. They're trying to lift 900s. You're bullish. I mean, you can be whatever you want to be. I'm just going to wait to see if we come up towards anywhere up into this kind of range here, and to see if these buyers get caught again. Remember, because we've got everyone above this is stuck. Every buyer above that is stuck. Overnight, people that try to revisit that are stuck. Right? There might be a range rotation trade here if you want it. I'm going to wait to see if we sell anywhere over this or here, or if they force my hand here to here. Well, what I'm not going to do is be a buyer today unless we reclaim all the way up there in 900s. I'm going to stay sell side. That's just my rules that I'm putting for myself today. You guys can do what you want. That's just what I'm implementing. I'm very aware that this might drive all the way up here, which would be a 100, 150 point drive. That's okay. I'm going to choose. It's a choice. We have free will. I'm going to choose not to trade that. How do I take overnight gap into consideration? Well, I always consider we can have a gap fill, which is why I'm very open to it coming up there and failing, but I also know we have downside pressure in this market and we have trap players above. So, you know, I don't know if it's going to want to do that gap fill today. I'm not convinced. Right, here's the 800 check. Again, if we stay heavy under here and 780s, I'm getting short. So they're trying to defend 80s. You can see a buyer in at 85s here at value area low. If they start selling this, I'm getting short, folks. Any pops that now fail, I'm getting short. Here's the 85 check. All right, I'm getting short. Here's the New York Open check. And if we sell under here, I'll put more size on. And any pops that fail back into 800s, I'll look to hold. And I will probably risk 10s somewhere up there. So I want to see this fail 75s, get under the blue line, which is your New York Open now. Big sellers coming in here, so we need to move under 80s now. I'm doing a good job of holding here for a minute. I want to be very careful of the ES into 705s. A nice rejection. ES is already under that New York Open. NQ is going to make this tricky, isn't it? Oh, Microsoft's just gone red to green. I want to be careful. Come on, let's get under this New York Open, this blue line, and then let's just sell down to these lows. Really good. Here we go, folks. So I want to see continuation down now. See if we can come and test overnight lows, ideally. They might want to pop it up a little bit and retest some of these levels, but I'm going to stay short side in this until it knocks me out. And see if we can clean out all of this and ideally get down into some of these, ideally down into the sort of 600s, 650s. Depends how many games they want to play this morning. Lots of liquidity down here. It's funny, they're bidding like every 10, 20 points at the moment, both sides. I've paid myself a little bit underneath the New York Open, so make sure I've got a free trade here no matter what this early in the day. They might want to come and revisit 809s. Ideally, we stay heavy at 85s. If they squeeze through 85s, they might want to lift to 809s, 810s. There's the 85 check. And we should see, here we go. Should see continuation now down towards low of day. They shouldn't really reclaim 85 after checking it. Here we go. Looking good. Really good. Beautiful. Come on. They are stacking, like I said, every 10 points on the book. I can see it all the way down to 30s right now. The bigger orders are down at 700 and 695, but you know, 85 is key for me now. I'd like to see that stay heavy and then get down into the 600s. Here we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Here we go. So you can pay yourself a bit here if you want. I'm going to choose to try not to do that and see if we can get into 700s. I'm looking for a move down into this blue box. And ideally, we can wash right down there. That might be a bit greedy, but you never know. I'll try and hold one for that. So here's low of day, and we're going to come for Globex now. So we're going to move to 700s. So you can pay yourself here if you want, and then just hold on. And ideally, we see weakness continuation because this can be an H1 bear flag if we see continuation under 692s, which is what I'm hoping for, right? We just talked about that on the H1. I drew it out for you, what I'd be looking for. As soon as that 800s let go, we tested the 85s. It failed. Down we go. All right, just based on the liquidity. Ideally, we come into 92s, maybe previous week close 670s. We can peel some off there and then wait to see if this wants to come back to previous week value area low and areas around there in the low 600s, which would be really good if we could do that move. Why can't I see previous week value area low? This is incorrect as well. Right down there we go. All right, almost there. Buyers coming in at these low of days, so I don't think this auction's finished. We have a bid there, big fat bid at 710s. think we'll clear these guys out. Someone got aggressive at 710, so I think we'll move lower. It might be that we have to pop up first, but that auction at lower day is not finished in my mind. ES and towards 705s, you can watch this. So you want to be paying yourself a little bit here. Here we go, new lower day. Like I said, that auction at the low was terrible. About to take out the 95s and 92s. All right, TP1 hit, and let's see if we can, how low we can go now, folks. What a beautiful trade. So it's coming up to 100 points on this trade already. Another 100-pointer on stream with Flow Zone, all planned out before you. I'd like to move down to 660s, 655s now. I want to see panic hit this market. And I really don't want it to reclaim 710s, all right? So I'm going to move my stop down aggressively to 710s now. Come on, Mr. Stop, can you move, please? There we go. Thank you, Ninja Trader. Stressing me out there. And ideally, we can move into the low 600s, folks. We're seeing weakness enter this tape. Remember this, like I said, the Fugazi move on Monday, right? Fugazi, it's a Fugazi. Oh, the war is over. Blah, 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 blah. Shut your mouth. It's not anything, all right? Understand the games, like we talked about yesterday. All right, let's see if they reject 710s here. So my stop is at 710s. Might well knock me out. I don't mind re-entering. If we drift over 710s and push up, I'll look for a re-enter, but I'm going to stop out at 710s because that's where that big buyer came in and got stuck. So if they don't reject this, I will be knocked out on the runner, and that's okay. I can always re-enter. I've locked in 100 points no matter what. So you can see the 710s. They are stacking sellers here. Okay, I'm out of this on the runner, and I'll wait to see if we want to drift back up and test. I'll watch now 40s, 50s, and 70s for a retest, all right? 40s, 50s, and 70s. Big buyer coming in there again and getting caught. Ideally, they lift this a bit higher now and give me a re-entry. ES hit that 705s, and SPY hit the 670s, and guess what? QQQ right into that 601 600 wall. We know, okay, I will remind you, 600 biggest put wall for 15 years on the Qs, all right? It's no joke. All right, here comes the lift to 40. So I'm going to watch now to see how we act at 40s, 50s, and 70s to see if there's a resell opportunity. It might be that we're done and that's the move and they want to bid off this level. I don't think so, but it could be. So this is why we're out now and just waiting to see. We have an imbalance here into 42s. We have value area low on the session at 42s. We have the opening range at 40s. So these are big levels here. They are starting to see some sellers try and absorb the tape here. If they get through this, we're going to move 80s pretty quick. But ideally, they reject this to move lower now. So piece back on there because buyers got a little bit caught at 25, so over 25. So I've got a little piece back on here just to see if we reflush. The price now needs to move under 708, 709 for me to be right. If they reclaim 40s, I'll be out. I've got a tiny piece back on, playing with house money at the moment. Okay, here's the move to 40s. They have to reject this now, otherwise I'm out, and we're going to move to 70s, and then I'll re-look at it up there. Okay, out. We squeeze up towards 50s and then 70s, and I can look at it back up here. Here's a big old squeeze out to the upside now. Let's watch these 70s. Do they resell this? Nope. So buyers still adamant on protecting the 700s. If Mo's in chat, he'll be absolutely giggling to himself right now. I think Mo's just bid on 700s for 6 weeks in a row and done nothing else and made money. All right, back to this New York Open. Here's the 70s checks. That put wall holding up very, very well. There come the 80s. We'll wait to see if there's a rejection here. If there's no rejection here, then there's no chance to move lower, and we'll just squeeze right back up and take out the high of day. We should see a retest towards 710s, really, but it depends how much of a squeeze they want to turn on. So that's a strong rejection into 70s. We're back under, or we're back at the opening range now at the 40s. And you don't want to see them hold this if you're looking for a sell. That will be a very bad sign. And now adding liquidity higher just to make it extra tricky. So here's the dance around the 50s now. It's a bit of an issue. If they keep holding this, they're going to go 75s, 85s, and 800s very quickly. So we're into a market with no follow through again, holding the same levels at the moment for now for the opening. What are we in? 20 minutes. All right, it's the 47s again. They got to get under 47s and test 25s and 10s and want to see if we move lower then at that point. Here we go. Here's the test of the 25s. If we don't hold the bid here, I'll be interested. We have an imbalance here, so where buyers came in. That's why I'm saying I want to see how we operate here into 25s. Okay, right into the 25s. So they flush this, we go 10s. All right, in this short again. Small size, just trying to play the momentum downside. I want to see us move under 10s now. So we might rotate 10s, 25s for a moment. I'm just trying to time this. Sellers getting a little stuck there at 10s. Want to see continuation under 10s at this point. And then we can see downside. Sellers starting to come on the book now. 35s, 40, 15s, chasing the market lower. We might get 660s coming here if they start forcing this through under 700s. So I want to see 25 stay heavy. Don't want this back over 25s now. I'm just going to try and let this work out. Hands off, let it do what it needs to do. Because I think if we've caught it there, we can move lower. Under 10s, we should see pressure. Is Globex low again? In this short, trying to let it work. I want to see a new lower day now. So now I want to see 10s reject. Any pop-up, I want to see 10s reject. And I want to see a new lower day down into here. Here we go. Really good. So we wait for that pop-up, little squeeze out. We had one attempt, cut the loss, got back in once it peeled over and came back down. So it took 2 attempts for this trade, but we're now looking good. Here we go. New lower day coming. We should be coming here. There was a seller caught at 83. So as long as we get under 83s, we should see a new lower day. And then we might see a snap down towards 660s. Here we go. Here's the new lower day. All right, sellers coming in there at 83. So now we want to stay heavy versus 83s ideally. And we want previous week close to let go, which we now have. That's 60, 760s. So now we want to make a move into the 10s ideally. All right, 610s is what I'm looking for. 600, 610, somewhere around there. Once we get there, I'll just try and see if I can hold for lower in case it wants to snap. I'll probably be done with it for the day. That might be the move. Unless we're going to go all the way down to 400s, which is possible. For anyone in Discord, this was the trade we were looking for. This is what we've been waiting for. Here we go. So you can pay yourself a little bit here if you want into previous week close where we are now, but I will be looking for 610, 600s now. Might see a wiggle here back up to 700. So it depends whether you're willing to sit through a 30-point sort of push back up. Ideally, they just reject 83s. And again, QQQ 600s, the big level, all right? Just be cognizant of that on the QQQ on your ETF market. We are right at 600 right now. So our 660s, 670s are the 600 on QQQ. We get under that, we have room. We have room. We can maybe trade back to 95s, maybe all the way. Yeah, 95s on QQQ would be great. But we know this is a huge area. Okay, guys? Massive area. If they can't get under this, it'll be a problem. So you can pay yourself some here. I don't mind this. I mean, ideally, we reject 80s. Here we go. Really good. Ideally, reject 80s, but they might want to lift back to 708, which is where the buyers got caught. Really good. Come on, QQQ. Get under that 600 for me. We're under the 600s. Can we see a waterfall coming? Come on. Big sellers coming. We're looking for 610s to 600 here. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. 620s coming up. They've got bids all the way down here. So 200 lots, 620, 200 lots, 615, 200 lots, 605, 58 lots, 600. Oh, baby. We're fucking cooking. We are cooking, man. We are cooking. A bit of front running in front of these bids down here, like we can see. 620, 615, 605, 600. All on the book map above me. You can see those levels. So anyone who's short can see that. So they're like, oh, I'll pay myself a little bit before we get there. All right, which makes sense. So you can do the same. You know, if you don't think we're going to get there or you feel uncomfortable, you've had a big winning day, relax. Take the money. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. How much do I put on the bench? I haven't gone really heavy since the summer because I got a rotator cuff injury from going too heavy. But I can do my 1 rep's probably like 345 plates each side, maybe a little bit more. But yeah, I'll rip out 220, 240 for fun. But I have to be careful. I'm 40 now, so I trained very, very heavy in the summer, and my body hurt for it. 345. I can never do the metrics here because you guys work in pounds, and I've always worked in kilos. Yeah, it sounds about right. 345, 45, 90. What is it? 180. Hang on. I'll have to do the fucking maths on it. Is it that much? 45 times 6. What's the bar? Is the bar 40 as well? Like more like 310, 320 probably. 315. There you go. Anyway, back to trading. All right, shelf here at 50, so we need acceptance under 50. So they built a little bit of liquidity between 56 and 46 here. Hard to see with this gamma on, but here we've got a little rotation here. So if we get acceptance under here, look at this squeeze potential down into these 400s, right? The yellow box is your squeeze potential. So this here is the put wall. This is your main TP area, right? This is your 600 on QQQ, all right? If we're going for a long squeeze day, all right, here and here is possible. This is where I think the market ultimately wants to move to. This is where we were before all the bullshit started on Monday. Okay, so if we zoom out, like I talk about, if we zoom out, all right, we talked about, this was the nonsense, right? This here was the level I was interested in a cover or buy at. They did it overnight, breakdown, they bid back up. Then they go, oh, war's over, all right? Then we go sideways, lose the bid, which is why I'm saying I want to be short today, not long, all right? Because this is a failure to reclaim, all right? And then we're into this area here from the last 2 weeks. And if we lose that, we're going to come into this node here from Monday, Sunday. All right, if we lose it, it's asking a lot, but it's possible in this market. We can move to 400s. If we lose 400s, we're uber bearish at that point. But now maybe you can see why I didn't want to be long biased today. But the best short location was up here at 7 a.m. All right, remember we talked about, that's an A+ short, by the way. That is an A+ trade, if anyone took that. When you see a build out of liquidity and we move away from it and retest it on a higher time frame liquidity, that is your A+ trade. That is everyone who was long from the end of Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday underwater. That's why we're trying to trade downside. But you should have paid yourself into the blue box right now, and we're just wait and see now if we get any more. But either way, I've locked in a big fat winner here. Okay, out of this now. They're going to come and test these 10s. Like I said, they might want to test these 10s because of where the buyers were. So I'm now out of this. You can see how we got here and why. All right, this was where the buyers were. That's why they're retesting this at the moment. So the squeeze was over this little shelf here at 58. So we squeeze up, we test to see these buyers are still stuck. If they're still stuck, we sell that. That's why they're trying to sell it for that rotation back down. But remember, we were short from much, much higher. So we will just see now. I traded that on one of my big accounts, and I can show you right here. There you go. Right, that'll do for the day for me. Thanks very much. So reclaiming 600s, testing 601s on the QQQ. So if we look at QQQ, you can see what I'm talking about. All right, this has been the level, like I talked about, biggest level for 15 years. Right here, 600. So we came below 600. We're reclaiming 600. This level right here was important. If they stayed heavy there, look, there's the failure. This is such a huge, huge level. Huge level. This is where all their hedge is. All their hedge is in here and has been in here for the whole time. For weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks and end. Right, so retesting VWAP. I'm done with this at the moment. I'll just wait and see now. see if we can sort of peek out and do something else. It was a little, when I put a little piece on, it is genuinely a little piece, right? So in this move, it was genuinely a little piece. It's like a one lot for me. All right. But when I see failure, I'm not adding into these, but when I see failures, I'm fucking attacking this on the way down. Right. I don't add into losers. All right. I'll put a little one lot. You'll hear me say, like, I'm trying one here because we got stuck at, where did I see us get stuck on that first move? 20s. All right. In this candle here, we trapped buyers. So I tried one here, took the loss, and then we went backside on that same level. And then I got back in, but then I attacked on the breakdown and then covered. Right. So I attack. When I see momentum, I'm trying to join that for the attack back down. And that's when I get my big winners, when the size goes on, obviously. Remember, that's 2 separate trades as well. All right, so they're looking to lift to 50s here, which is where VWAP is. It's where buyers, sellers are currently sitting up at 50s. That's our main trade done for the day, folks. We'll just have to wait. Let this build out a little bit of more liquidity now, and then we can see what's what. How much is a one lot for me? One lot. One. When I'm trading my big accounts, it's 1 mini. If I'm trading my small accounts, it's 1 micro. Right, I'm trading my big accounts today. Still waiting for some approvals on some of the smaller ones for some payouts. All right, I did pay myself some TPT yesterday. I'm due again now, which is great. Coming into this VWAP at 750, guy spoofing up there. He just left. Now he's trying to get filled at 30. So we'll see here. They might well reject here, but if buyers now start to base, I'll tell you what, if buyers base between 25s and 10s, they've got to squeeze. They've got to squeeze. If buyers start basing between 25s and 10s, they've got to squeeze. If they start doing this move here, right? If too many shorts came down here, remember we were short. Where were we short from this morning? The 80s. We were short from here and we were short from here, right? We had good position, but not everyone's smart. They get short in demand and they get squeezed out. And if buyers do this now, that is not out of question. It's definitely not, especially with the way they built this out. It's not out of question. I won't be trading that. What's the equivalent on ES? That 705 level is massive on ES. All right, so we did come under it, but we caught a bid. All right, so 705 ES, 670 SPY. That's the equivalent level for you playing ES or spiders. And look at VIX. Someone else talked about the VIX earlier, and I said 27's the pivot. Look where our high day is, right? We hit 26.95 or 26.93. Just failed 27, straight back down. Zacron, thanks for the great call, Alex. I've learned so much from the course and from the streams. Hey, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, buddy. That's my lunch covered. That's my lunch covered. Steak burrito on the way, thanks to Zach. I appreciate you, man. All right, so we have to watch how we operate now. Remember, I said 7, what did we just say? 725, 710s. Why am I saying that? 725, 710s. It's all to do with these buyers here. See these guys here? These guys right here. All right, if these guys protect price in here, they can try and cause a re-squeeze back up. If these buyers lose the bid between 25 and what's technically 08, yeah, if they lose the bid between 25 and 08, and certainly if we come under 700, you're going to see downside pressure right back to these sellers at 57s, right? Where these, I don't know if you guys can see it, I might have to move it up, where these lot here are. So buyers will want to protect this if they're looking for a re-squeeze. If they lose 25s and 08s, well, let's just say 25s, 08s, and 700s, you'll see a snap back down into the low side of this where the sellers got trapped. All right, so all this game is who's stuck. That's the only game you're playing when you're trading. It's literally the only game you're really playing. Can you trade stocks in NinjaTrader? I don't think you can, no. And there's probably better software for stocks anyway, mate, if I'm honest. I would look at TradeStation. It's probably the best one, I would say. The execution. Oh, it depends. If you're playing small caps, you can look at Interactive. You can look at TradeZero if you're really brave. They used to fuck up back in the day a lot. I was lost wandering in the wilderness till I found you. I've learnt so much. I can't thank you enough. You're welcome, man. How aggressive am I on evals? I'm aggressive on evals. I don't advise being aggressive, but I am aggressive. I call it time decay. I don't want to waste time on an eval because I know if I see an A+ scenario, I can get a good chunk of that eval down quickly. How did I get rotator cuff repaired? I did it myself, man, from years and years and years of work. So what happened to me is rotator cuff subscap I had an issue with, and then my first rib would pop out. I've always had an issue there from when I played rugby. So the main things that helped me was lying on the floor, because I had to move my scap. Here you go. You're losing 700s now. If you lose 700s, so I'm going to get back to you. If you lose 700, you're going to check 83s, 75s, and 58. I would say the auction at lower day does look good. It doesn't need repairing. The auction at lower day does actually look good, just a heads up. All right, so maybe they could do the 400 move, but we might be done for the day. That lower day auction looks good right now. All right, so the main one that helped me was lying on my back, light dumbbell, and rotate up like this. Just that one. All right, that did so much work of releasing and forcing my first rib down. And then the other one you want to do, lie on your side. Okay, same thing, dumbbell. And this way, and do it with bands as well. And even like rope pulleys, like external rotation, like do everything external rotation. It's like I did mine because my chest was internally rotating. It was collapsing everything over. Second day watching you on YouTube and 2 wins. Interested in the course. You're the best I've seen so far. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Alex, why is the auction below down? What do you mean? Or done? Do you mean done? Why is it done? Because the low of day, let's see if we can get this up on here. All right. The low of day was sellers. On here, it shows a few buyers, but on NinjaTrader, this low down here was sellers. All right. The node down here was pretty strong selling. So it doesn't mean they can't move lower, but because we had strong selling down here, all right, if this was all buying, I'd say that's too much aggressive buying. It needs repairing. But right now, it looks okay. It doesn't really need repairing. I'll try and show you on here. Maybe it looks a bit better. All right, so we had a seller that come in at those lows at 56s. And if you look inside this candle, right, there's a decent amount of selling, sub 50s, and the low is actually a seller. It doesn't mean it can't go lower, but all I'm saying is it doesn't actually need repairing. Like, do you remember earlier? Where was it? There was a point earlier when I was like, the low of day is not in. Let me find this candle, 48, 948. Right, if we come to 948, this candle here, I was like, the low's not done. We're not done. Why? Because these guys are buyers. These are aggressive buyers. That is not a low of day print. So I'm confident then that we're going to go and move lower. And we did. So we popped up and we came and moved lower. Right? This is showing buyers at these lows. That is a slight discrepancy to what I have on NinjaTrader, which is interesting. I don't know why. Maybe just the tick data differently. But yeah, I would say at the moment you're looking. It's kind of trying to hold the 700s, isn't it? So if they spend long enough here, right, they can afford to come back down here. But if they spend long enough here and leave sellers down here trapped, they can try and re-squeeze this higher. They can try. It doesn't guarantee anything. They can try. If they lose 700s, we're going to come and test 60s. Let me just check on my one. I would say we're going to come and test 83s. If we lose 700, we test 83s. That's where that seller came in. If they lose 83s, we're testing 70s. If we lose 70s, we're testing 52s. So as you can see, I've backed off because I've got the main trade that I want. So I want to let this like build out. I wouldn't mind a second leg up and then see if we go in a range rotation day. A little squeeze up, maybe a clear out of these, and then maybe a collapse back down. We'll see. What trading view chart indicator am I using? These are the Flow Zone Pros, guys. It's part of the course, Flow Zone Pros. Or a version of it comes with the course. You can upgrade to these if you do the course. So I'd say currently, buyers are caught at 25s. Your rotation is 700 to 725s, right? You get over 25, base over it, you might get acceptance for a move or a squeeze a bit higher. But right now, that's where you're caught. That's literally the shelf right up here. Where's 25s? It's here, all right? Buyers have stepped in there. It's a pretty big delta there that's caught so far. We can have a look on the tape. Yeah, it's just under 100 lot delta buy side at 25. So it's a big order there that they need to get back above if they're going to squeeze it. Which bar did you add to your short? I added all the way down, mate. I added in 9:53. I'm looking at NinjaTrader, so it might be different timing by minute. 9:53, 9:54 for the break. That's where I added heavy. I am in longs. Looks good. I don't know where you're long from, mate. So it looks good all the time. If you can get over 25s, you look good. If you lose 700, you don't look very good. But I don't know where you're long from. Maybe you're long from down here, in which case you look good, don't you? Like, I don't know your entry. If you're long from here, you look good for the hold of this and an increase. If you're long from here, you don't look very good, do you? You're back to break even now. So I don't know your entry, but momentum wise, everything over 25, 700 to 25 rotation, remember? Right? Any hold of this, yes, you look good. Any hold of this, yes, you look good. What I'd be careful of is a second leg that they sell into. Right? Be careful of this that they sell into. But this was a big target today, and we hit this blue box target, remember? So we went from grey to blue. We never got up to red. We went from grey to blue. Yep, flow zone. The pro indicator, if you upgrade to pro, yes, it does all the previous day and previous week levels. Absolutely. That's exactly what it does. Trading hours for Discord in the afternoon. It all depends what sets up. I normally, as soon as I finish stream, I normally go in there for a moment, and if there's a setup, we take it. But normally I take a little break and go to the gym and stuff and come back for the afternoon session. All right, we're testing. We're back at 25s, and if they lose 25s, they're going to go 700. And if they lose 700, you're going to see downside pressure step back in. All right, so bulls really will not want it underneath 700. They would have preferred to hold 25s there, I promise you. They're looking, they must hold the 700s here, the bulls. YouTube videos on my A+. There might be, I don't know. There certainly is in the course. I don't know if I've done that on YouTube. I feel like the last few days, I've given you a lot of edge for free in terms of what I look for. I don't think I'll do a video on exactly what I look for all the time, like for free. But if you're here, you know it. All right, so 25's reclaimed. They're looking for the squeeze out here. I really, if I was bullish, and I'm not in this right now, then I'd want to see 25s hold at this point, and I'd want to see them revisit 75s, 80s, and higher. You're right in the opening range here. You're right at the orb low here. What you don't want to see is you get stuck here. And I would, if I was bullish, I'd be selling some into whatever pops clear out liquidity above, because this is still technically bearish. We're in a bearish rotation right now. I know this, you'll be like, well, we're bullish lower time frame. Yeah, we are lower time frame, but this second leg can absolutely be used to sell into. All right, this is very typical of a second leg. And if we come back down and lose this, that can be used to sell into. So definitely don't, I wouldn't be adding long up here. I'd be selling on pops in case you get stuck, and they're using this as a build out to use later. That's what I'd be aware of. Doesn't have to do it. I'm just saying what I'd be aware of. Here's your opening range. You're failing opening range. You're not finding acceptance back in opening range. Remember, we're red on the day in New York session right now. Maybe they want to revisit up here, but we're going to find out. One way or another, we're about to find out. So here's the retest of 25s. If you lose 25s, you're going to go 700. If you lose 700, you're going to see a wash. 25 check. 700 check. And if you lose this, you will wash. Very important level for you guys who are bullish right now. You lose this, I think we go lower day. I'm going to stay looking for bearish moves today because we're underneath key volume. First payout, I'm buying the course and growing my hair and getting some slick glasses. I love that. Oh, it's funny. Which rugby club did I play for? London Irish. I was in the youth system at London Irish. Oh, reset this. Can't see chat. It's just frozen on me. All right, 700 to 725 checks here. Like we talked about, that's your rotation. That's your rotation. And they lose that, you see downside pressure like we talked about. I've lost my chat. What's going on? Can't see you guys. I want to get short in this, but I want to be able to see you. All right, watching this now. Is this the second leg in failure? This is the big level here. How we operate down here now matters. Sub 700. All right, so if we stay heavy here, we're going to come down to 83s, and I will be interested if they pop back up and start failing. Here's the 83s check. So how we operate now on a return into 700 is important. So do they sell 700s now? If they do, I'm interested. If they reclaim, then we're going to move higher. But if we sell 700s now, I'm interested in downside pressure. I want to be careful. I'm playing good momentum. Location's not the best, but we have now built out potential liquidity above us if we stay heavy. I would like to get an entry here. Can you pop up for me, you bastard? No pop-ups for Alex. We're just fading away without him. Wait and see. A little pop-up here. Anywhere towards 700s would be great. Any little pop-up there so I can see if buyers are in trouble, please. Little squeeze up. Come on, get yourself up. You're stuck at this 83 node. I want you to move higher at this point, please, so I can just have a little look-see to get low. Oh, don't force me to purchase here, please. I've lost chat, so I can't see you for some whatever reason. YouTube's gone mad. Get it up on my phone, maybe. Still waiting to see if we can pop up. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get short here. I'm going to watch the 82s in case they start to sell this. But ideally, we lift a little bit higher towards 700s and I can have a little look-see. Oh, man, you buggers. You buggers. You buggers. All right, big level here. This is the 600 level QQQ, remember? They're trying to defend it. Just want a little lift. And then we can have some games. No lifting. Coming down towards the 56s then. So rejecting 80s, forced to chase a little bit here down towards the 56s. So forced to put a little bit on there at 80s. Got to be very careful with my stop now. And if we hold 55s, then that will be a double bottom and a hold. But I think we can move lower. We've still got all those guys at 620s to fill. So they might just stay heavy versus 80s or even 70s here. The ideal location for the short is 700s, but here we come into the 50s and 60s. So we've got a node here. Once we let go of 46s, we will probably wash back down to 600s. So in this short, smaller size, because unfortunately it wouldn't give me ideal entry, but I wanted to get something on. And here's the pop back up towards 70s and 80s. Maybe we go 700s now and I can have a look. Back to my entry here. If we lift over 700, 710, I won't trade it. Still sitting in this with a little one guy at the moment. Just seeing if we can lift up to 700 and see if buyers get caught out or reshort. I want to be careful here. Again, 600 got tagged QQQ. I know it's a big level, so I want to be careful getting short. Location's not ideal down here. Momentum's good. Location's not ideal. But if we do let go of 600s on QQQ, if we do let go of low of day, then we have this move down to the 400s. It's a big if. I'm just trying to position in case. What I'd really like is this, after a 2-leg and a failure, I'd like this to be sold into. Any reclaim of that, I'm done. I'm not touching it because then I know that we don't want to move lower. But at the moment, I think there's a good shot at it. Can I explain how copy trading works? Well, you just need a trade copier, and then you select it, which accounts you want to copy, and you trade one account, and they all do exactly the same thing. That's how it works. You're saying why are you saying answer me in chat? I'm like, told you that my chat's down. I've only just got it back up. Who do you think you are? I'm not answering you now, no matter what. Who do you think you are to come in and like talk to people like that? Okay, watching 58s to 46s here. Well, don't talk to chat like that either. How about P's and Q's? You know, hey chat, I could do with some help here. Please, can you help me? There you go. That's called manners. Just some basic human manners wouldn't go amiss. Come on, guys. Still holding the 6s, QQQ. Right, if we don't get a move lower soon, a squeeze back up, a snap back up will happen. Back to my entry, so here comes a squeeze back up to 7s. So out of this now, and I'll watch 7s. And if they reclaim 7s, definitely if they reclaim 25s, I won't be thinking short for the rest of the day, because that's basically telling me the hedge does not want to move lower at this point. So here's the move to 7s. I'm out of this. I will consider a re-entry here if buyers get themselves a little bit caught, which is sort of happening into these 7s. We've just lifted straight into 7s like we talked about. Little guy back on here again, trying to be nimble. But we're going to have to find acceptance under 83s now. Here's the 83 check again. If we move under 83s and if we can move under 70s, then we should revisit 52s again. Back to 700s again. So just being nimble with this little guy. There's a seller at 705s. I'd like to see him walk down, not just sit there trying to lift the tape higher. Nice. Come walk down, Mr. 705, please. Right into these 80s again. I want to see us snap 70 now, and then I want to see us visit 50s. And they're on the book at 50s and under. The new low of day should come here if they can get under, but this is getting a little bit choppy in this section now. They know the importance of this level at 600. So again, still just a little guy for me. And my entry here is at 90s, so that you know. And I'll risk 710 VPOC. I really don't want it, or 707. Don't want it above that. This shelf here. All right, so my entry came in at 90s. I saw the rejection, then joined. I want to see this. Let go of this. and attack this, and under this we can get this move. So nice build out here, rejection of volume. Remember, this is what I originally talked about, 700 rejection, wanting this move here. Any reclaimer 700 is not interested. Come on, come on, come on. And if we get sub 6s, I'll be looking for 4s. I'll check chat after this, guys. I've only got it on my phone, and I don't know why this YouTube on my screen won't show it, but it won't. Really annoying. So I can't see what you guys are saying, but as soon as I'm out or done with this, I will. I'm just waiting to see if we can move lower. Once I can get comfortable, if we start snapping, I can move my stop down and in the money, I can check chat. Okay, value area low here, watching 60s. Want to see acceptance now underneath this shelf. We've got where the sellers came in earlier was 50s and under, right? So we've got to get 50s and under for me to be really confident that we're going to make a new low. So here's the move to 50s into this shelf. So shelf starts 56. There's a little node at 51 and sub. Nice. We've moved value area lower now. We should visit 46s now. Come on. Nice. Here's 50s. Let's go 46s and then let's puke. Let's go 46s and then let's puke. Very close. Let's go 46 and then let's puke. Let's get out of the way, Mr. Bid at 50s. Let's get out my way. I would like to be paid, please. They're all stacked. 620, 615, 605. Those 200 lots are still down there. There's just one little guy here at 50s. Once he fucks off, pardon my French, then we should get the move. We're sub 600 QQQ. Need that to stay heavy now, QQQ. 705, we're sub 705 ES. We're sub 670 SPY. SPY's got to move to 665 if we can stay heavy. Just need to see downside follow through right here. This is the level. I want to see downside follow through and a snap. Has to reject here. Don't really want a reclaim now of 60s because there's a node here that we've developed. It might want to lift to 69s, but I'd rather stay heavy at 60s and just see follow through and clear out all these buyers underneath us now. All these guys above me on Bookmap, I want to see us just come and fill all these guys. There's a bit of front running here. I'd really like us to see us come and fill these guys. Don't really want this pop back to 70. Nice rejection of imbalance. Let's go now then. Let's snap. Let's snap. So I'm up 50 points here. Remember, I'm short from 90s. I just want to see follow through. New low of day would be fantastic. Here we come. Here's the buyers getting stuck. Buyers coming in at 40. He's now stuck at 40. Here we go. Woo! Here we go, folks. Here's 620. So we're looking for 620, 615, 610, 600. And then we'll see if we can get into the 400s. Woo! Let's go, baby! Woo! All right, covering some there because a big seller came in. I want to be careful of this guy at 620. So 620, I'm aware now of 620 and 640. Big seller came in at 620. We want to stay heavy versus that. If we don't, we're going to pop straight up to 640 because we're thin in there. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, my God. He did it again. Oh, my God. All right, pay yourself a little piece here, and then we'll see. If we get acceptance under this, we'll see if we can go 400s. And that might sound mad to you, but I'm going to look to see if we can get to 400s if we find acceptance under this. But I'm paying myself here. Lots of sellers coming in at the low of days. Obviously, we had those big buyers that I talked about to pair off the auction. We have to have market selling, which means we've got 400 lots now hit the tape. So they might come right back up to 640 now. So it's up to you whether you want to hold this and are willing to have your stop there and give it wiggle room to look for 400. Or if you're like, I'm done with it, this is what I wanted. That is your call. All right, and hopefully, you guys have all made a shit ton of money with me today. There's no reason to have not made money with me today. I was very clear I'm staying short side. Some of you were looking for longs, and I said that's fine. It's totally up to you, but I'm looking for shorts, and I gave you my reason why. And now I'm going to catch up with chat, all right? Now I'm comfortable with my position. 1,520 Apex accounts. Nice work. Yeah, something's wrong with chat, guys. I can't see past. Nailed it once again. I don't know why. Something's up with YouTube. Yeah, lots of you guys smashing it. Nice. That's all I wanted to see. This is UFC Joe Rogan commentary. It's amazing. How's this stream free? I know. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Watching the sixes now. If we snap sixes, I'm going to see if we can hold a runner down to 400s. VIX coming into 27 is going to be key. Really good. QQQ, really good. Aggressively moving away from those 600s. So let's see how low we can go now. You can move your stop nice and tight now if you want. You don't really want to reclaim. I wouldn't want you guys to give 60, 70 points back. And we'll just see if we can get down into here with a runner. It's a good chance it won't, but we're positioned for it, right? We're positioned well. We've had 3 goes at this today for this move. So we've had a go, I think it was here, right down to here. We had a go here, down to here, and we've had a go in here. Now, there was a break-even loss here, and there was like a 10-point stop loss there or something. Okay, so, but each time we got the move, right? We got the move 1, trade 2, trade 3, and we'll see. We were positioned ourselves just in case we want to get down into here. We've always paid ourselves in this blue box, but if we see that, fantastic. That would be mega weakness in the market. We'll need VIX to get over 27s where it's trading back into at the moment. Flowzone, I tried to go and buy the dip. I thought that's what you called out. You said above 25s. Now I'm down 15K. Sorry, what? I said above 25s. Yeah, I said there's a squeeze above 25s. There's your squeeze. Right, and I said if it holds 25s here, 25s to 700 is the rotation, right, for that squeeze out. And I also said it can be a second leg that fails numerous times. I also said I will not be playing short. And I also said if you lose 700s, you're in trouble. So if you've lost 15 grand in a 25-point stop loss, I would say you're a bit of a wally, mate. That's on you. And there's always one. There's always one. Here was the prep. This is what we were looking for last night. This is where we're now into the 800s. We're now losing the 800s for downside pressure, all right? This was the prep this morning, looking for rejection of this range. And then if we reject 600s, look here, we're looking for 4s. If we reject 600s, we're looking for 4s. And then from 4s, there's probably going to be a reaction. The only time I was long, right, was over a reclaim of 9s. It's the only time I was thinking about long was over a reclaim of 9s. That's my pre-market setup with my team. Where is QQQ going? That's a good question. That's a very good question. There is a wick from Monday that is going to check from 2 o'clock Monday, I think, at 97. So we're into that block from Monday, that pullback before Trump said the war's over. Okay, so if we lose 97s, we're going to go back into the next block below. So I'd say 97s, we lose that, we're going 96.30s. We lose that, we're going 91s, 92s. But this matters now, right? This is why we paid ourselves. How are we at now? Think about the initial balance. IB now set. What type of day are we in? Are we going to be in an expansion day, right? And we can measure this out to see if we're going to, if this works out, and hopefully it will, all right? If we think about the IB, right, 1.5. Oh, do that again. Make sure that's accurate. Yeah, all right, 1.5161 takes us into 500, 480. Measured move takes us into 400, right? Measured move of the whole thing. IB normally doesn't go past a 1.5 unless we're very aggressive. If we're going to go into the rotation, right, it will mean a look below, a failure, and a trade back up to VWAP, won't it? All right, and then we can see how we operate there, which will mean we're probably going to a range day, and they might resell that again. They might well resell that again. And this is up to you how much room you want to give this at this point, if you're going to look for the 4s or if you're done with it. Welcome to the team, everyone who just joined. Hey, Zar, very kind of you. Thank you, my friend. I'm just going to catch up with that. I'm way above you, wherever you've put that in. Alex, I'm up $50,000 on my live account. You've changed my life for the better, and now for the ever ascending. I have my whole family trading. Even my 8 years old brother has a couple of fundeds. Nice. Any place for short re-entries? I wouldn't be getting short down here. So your only opportunity now really is a drift back in or a build out of liquidity here, same kind of thing, and a rejection here. But remember, you've now lost location. This is why we wanted to be short in these. Location down here is terrible. Momentum's good. Location down here is terrible. Remember, this, all right, this is discount from the previous week. Previous week value area low. It doesn't mean we can't move lower, but you're losing location. You're starting to short discount to move lower. Whereas today, if we look about what happened this morning, we rejected fair value from the previous week, all right? Previous week point of control, we rejected that. Flow zone stayed negative. We have downside pressure, lower time frame algo, view up, New York open. We go over, under, sell, 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 hitting targets. It's runners only. In my opinion, a short here, while it might work out, is not a great short location. In my humble opinion, but again, it is up to you guys to manage your own accounts, trade what you want. No worries, Eddie. Take care, mate. Here we go. Let's see. So we're looking for 5s and 4s. We're really looking for 4s. Someone just asked about SPY. Look at SPY into that level we just talked about, right? 597.70s. Just came right down into that level and caught a little bit of a bid, right? So that was your afternoon pullback on Monday. That's where you're at on QQQ. Sorry, I said QQQ. We're under it on SPY. On SPY, it's 668.10. You're under that level. So 668.10 SPY. Sorry, I'm gonna get my fucking words mixed up here. 668.10 on SPY. 697.70 on QQQ. We're into the Monday afternoon pullback level. Have we just swept it on the NQ? Let me just have a quick look. Yes, we have. All right. So that might be, it could be it for the day, folks. If they just wanted to trade back to that pullback, which was 576, we've just tapped it. All right. So I'm aware of that now. We could, if we're going to get a reaction of there, we can possibly be done for the day. So just, you can hold your runner, but I'm not going to put any more risk on down here. Not for me. Not based on what I'm seeing at that reaction. Yeah, VIX rejecting 27 as well. But VIX might hold this pullback and have one more go. We'll see. We will see. First day on Lucid Funded's up 1,400. Nice, man. Van, you stepped away for a while. Crazy to how the stream, see how the stream's growing. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's mad how big it's got. Oh, Spearhead, that's a nightmare. Had that before. Sorry to hear that. Let's get an extension. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, that afternoon pullback from Monday, what I'm watching here, I can show you. Right. This afternoon pullback on Monday, we just swept this out. All right. So this was pre-Trump pump, this level right here. Put a little horizontal line in if we do it for us. This was the Trump pump. Right. So we bid up pre-Trump and then that was the Trump pump. So we've just tagged that level. So it is an important level. Like I said, do you remember yesterday on chat, I said, look, if this was Fugazi, which we knew it's Fugazi, this is a motion in the chart. In Discord, we talked about this last night. We failed to move higher, 3 drives, move sideways, build the liquidity, failed that liquidity. What's the most likely thing to do? Give back the Fugazi, right? Because that's nothing. No volume there. All right, there's the Fugazi given back. Now it's about, okay, well, is this whole thing bullshit? Are we going to see increase in oil prices? Is there going to be an attack in America? What's going to happen next? Yada, 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 yada. I don't know the answers, but when we don't know things, right, when we're unsure of what's going on, we price in the risk, which is downside pressure. All right. When we're told everything's fine, we go up. But when we price in, when we're like, hey, that's bullshit, there's downside pressure coming. This is a risk off environment right now. So that's why you're seeing downside pressure. But this white line here is definitely key. It's definitely key. And you can see we literally tagged it, just swept it. So I'd use that as like sentiment now. If we start losing that, then we're definitely coming down here. So it's the re-attack of it now. This is going to be key now, what happens now. I might even move my stop in the money at 17s now, because they're adding quite a lot above us now. They're adding 25s, 30s, 45s, 50s, and 75s. Don't really want to see a drift here. And a buyer's just come in here. 200 lot has come in here to protect this level. All right, you can see him at 90s right now on the book. I'm getting ready to be done with this at this point. Giveaway today? Yeah, we'll do a giveaway later. I'm up 2,700 from 3 days today just from watching you. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, you're welcome, man. All right, so watching these 90s, there's a 200 lot here at 90s. So far, we've had selling into that being absorbed. It's possible this needs some relief. Zar, I just got to your message. Here we go. Zar, legend. If you're still on the fence about the course, just do it. Understanding the methodology and hanging with the lads in Discord has been awesome. And the girls. Don't forget the girls. There's ladies in there as well. Some fantastic female traders in there. Don't forget the women. But you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, I think lots of you making money. All right, about to tag me out here on a runner into the IB. There you go. I'm gone. I'm out of this now. And if this wants to drift, like I said, after taking that pull, that was key. That afternoon pullback. It might now, drift up, and then there might be a reshort. But at the moment, I'm just going to let this reset a bit like we did here. Let it build out some liquidity. Like I said, look at the liquidity above me. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 65. They're flashing 70 now. So they're trying to lift this up. So I'm going to let it lift without me now. That's fine. We locked in. Grateful for you, Alex. Weird saying that it's my name too. Man, my life's changed so much the last 6 months, all thanks to your library of a channel to help me for free. Let's fucking go. Oh, I like it. Thanks, man. So you're in the YouTube stuff. Here's the squeeze back up. So they're going to come and test 665, and you might get SPY testing 670 and Q's testing 600. So that's the level that they want to back test now and see if sellers are still there. If there's no sellers there, we get relief higher. Why am I wearing glasses inside my home? These are blue lens glasses. They look really dark on screen, but if you look, they're just like light green. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know why they look so dark on screen. Look how light they are. Right? They're blue lens glasses, prescription for me. But when I put them on, because of that light, they look really dark, but they're not. They're very light. Yeah, 2,350 watching, only 600 likes. We need to get these likes up and we'll do some giveaways like we always do. Are sellers now trapped? Yeah, there's good excess. Definitely there's good excess down there. Like we talked about, big selling. Look at these big sellers that came in, right, at these lows. Right, big sellers came in at these lows. Filling in, remember we had passive buyers. What you need to see now is this pullback hold these levels. So the sellers came in 620, 615, 605, 600, good excess at the low. So any bid now that holds sort of 620 down to 600 can squeeze. Here comes the squeeze. Woo, they're trying to send it now. So it was a good cover from us down there. Oh, look at that relief. All those sellers getting very caught down there. All the way to 700s. That almost feels newsy, but I think it's probably just seller's caught. Big old squeeze. Big old squeeze. All right, here we go. Upside. So they probably want to come and take these stops now. I'm just going to let this do what it needs to do for a little while because we hit our main targets. Runner got knocked out, and that's okay. And now we see. So all the sellers who chased down here, remember we had a 189 lot, 176 lot, 194 lot, 315 lot, 116 lot, 105 lot, all came in under 620. All came in under 620. It's why I'll stop move down there. And we're coming right back to where that buy got stuck this morning at 725. Like that. Boom. Upside. 100-point ripper. Straight back up to where the buyer was. It's hilarious. Justin, I don't have a lot, but I got to say thank you. I just started day trading a few months ago. Hey, thanks, man. No, I appreciate it. Like anything, you guys don't need to do any of that. It's very kind, all of you. Am I worried about the Iranian drones set to strike Cali? No. I think it'd be more likely that it's an inside job than that happened. Honestly. But there we go. Tyson trade hit. Yeah, did any of you take that? Tyson, did you take it? IB to VWAP. We talked about that. Failed auction. IB to VWAP. Squeeze up. Coming straight back. Buyers need to hold down here. All right. If buyers don't hold down here, again, main structure is still bearish. Right? Buyers need to hold down here to get this move. If they fail, we're going to move lower. But we just have to see what happens. I've made my killing today, so I'm just like backing off. Sure did. You all got it? Nice. Nice, 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 nice. How'd you get the Discord? You have to do the beginner to the advanced course. All right, so we're coming back to test where these sellers got caught, okay? Caught the rejection wick at 700s for the short continuation to 590s. 11R trade, one and done. Nice work. Nice work, Hiko. Do I think SPY will go down again after this? Well, that's a good rejection of VWAP and 670s, but like we talked about, it's the same level on SPY. You're watching that afternoon pullback. You need to find acceptance on SPY under 668. All right, under 668, you have to find acceptance under that. Otherwise, we can develop liquidity now. Remember, it's no different on SPY what's happening. That's a big pump to get sold into, but we're right back to these sellers now. And if buyers don't dip in here and support this, you'll see new lows. It's a big pump to be sold into right now. So how we operate here versus all these sellers is important. I'd say 600 is a massive level. We saw absorption at 84. 600 is the level that they must hold, these buyers, if they don't want to move lower today. Big rotation, that. Big rotation. It's aggressive down here. The sellers are trying to chase the lows again. So I'd say pop up to 40 and then wait and see what it does. Not sure I'm going to retake this. I think I might just back off and be done, but we'll see. See how we operate. You think we're going to S the bed, do you? Some of you guys think we're going lower. You might well be right. Was there news for that, or was it just a squeeze out? Set to suspend Jones Act to tame oil prices. All right, so they're trying to... Look at that. It's what I talked about yesterday. This is all about oil prices for him now. He knows in a midterm year, he might be really buggered here. He might be really bad. That's why he's trying to encourage people. You've got to go through. You've got to get your ship and your tankers through, because if the oil prices go up in America, you're going to have a lot of upset people. All right, here's the 600 test. If you snap this, I'd say new low of day. Another 200 lot seller just came in here, folks, at 610s. So 600 is the level that they must save. I'd say sellers will want to defend 640s. Any pop up to 640s, they will want to defend. It's tempting here. It's tempting, but the location's gone. Location's gone. I'm not too interested. That was a good short if you took it up there into this node. It just depends how much follow through they've got left, if any. So here's the move back towards the 40s like we talked about. They're at 18s. Can they squeeze up to 40s? And then what happens there? And then do we see follow through on the day under 600s towards 400s? VIX just like dumped and soaked up the bid and is back at 26.50s. It's got to get over 27s though for us to really melt today. I'll get back to chat in a minute, folks. I just can't. Is there a way of getting it back on here? I don't know why it has done this. Let's see. I'm trying to go to those 40s that we just talked about. Here we go. Have I got chat back? You need permission for the indicator. You need to fill in the form and make sure you've put your TradingView email in, your TradingView username in. A lot of people fill in the form and they don't put their username in and then it can't do it. If you've done that, I'll check it as soon as I'm done with stream. So 40s is the key level here. Sellers will not really want it above 40s, maybe 50s, but 40s where that buyer last time came in. So sellers will want to sell versus 40s right now, I would say. And if they go over 40s, then they can squeeze right back up to where they come from, and they will need continuation under 600s, which currently is being absorbed, right? 600 is currently being absorbed down there. You're seeing lots of selling at these lows without continuation underneath all these sellers. Look at the size of these lots. So they might come and test this buyer at 40s. If they stay heavy versus him, they have another attempt to get under 600s, but over 40s, we've got squeeze potential right back. This is very thin on that last candle up. Back to 12s, watching these 600s and how we operate down here. They are adding liquidity lower now. I'm wondering if there's a snap coming here, but we're just going to watch. I needed only one trade today, mate. Oh, nice. Flow zone merch? No flow zone merch at the moment, no. So there's a lift towards 40s potentially. And you have to see if they resell this or not. If they don't, squeeze potential back upside to refill some of the imbalances. Just short of 40s there. They hit 35s, back down to the 10s. And remember, 600, if they let go 600, they're in trouble. So we've got the rotation right. It's sort of 40s to 600 is the rotation underneath 600. Certainly underneath 92s is where we have good excess. So they could technically defend 92s. So good defend down there so far. More buyers stepping in here, trying to absorb in front of 600 again. What are we going to do with this? Right into the edge of that blue box. Developing a big node here. If they lift, we're going to go 46s now. Here's the 40s where that buyer was. Here's the lift towards 50s. They can squeeze right back up here if they really want towards 70s. So they've defended twice now at the 600s, like we talked about. It's 2 defends down there, remember? And they're adding liquidity higher into 60s. Remember the last time we squeezed right out here. So is the 40s check, 40s fail so far. And buyers will now want to step in versus 20s. It doesn't quite match, it's weird. Tick data not matching today. All right, failing 40s, back to 20s. Do they absorb 20s? So 20s to 40s is now the rotation, or 20s to 50s technically now. No acceptance over 40s yet. $705 check here on ES. Big level. Big level on ES. Still not back to the 600 on the Qs yet. Remember, this is the big hedge level. Where we're at is where they keep hedging constantly. Here's the 40s again. No. The lows has got nothing to a good auction at the lows has got nothing to do with a higher high, lower low. It's nothing like that. It's about having sell activity at the low of day. It's nothing to do with the structure of it. It's all to do with who's stuck at the lows. A good auction at the lows would have sellers stuck at the lows, which we currently have. So I'm not convinced we have to move lower. It really depends how aggressive they want to be. Right, guys, let me just focus in here, please. Watching these 40s to see how we act. I'm watching to see if they absorb 20s now and if they're done with it. Move to 20s. Are they going to soak here now, or are we going to move lower at this point? Soaking 20s again. Rotation 20s to 40s. If they let go of 20s, we test 600, 610s. Book's quite thick now, both sides, while they make their decision. I'm just waiting to see if they're done with it and if they actually want to let these sellers out and we're going to move 400s or not. There's a good rejection at 705 ES. Very good rejection. So here's the 20s check. I'm eyeing this up now just in case there's a big continuation coming for 200 points lower. I don't want to be early or premature to this. The location's not very good. It's the IB check again. Oh, it's tempting, man. The location's terrible, but it's tempting from what I'm seeing on the tape. Yeah, strong selling, man. Really strong selling. If they can't hold this, it's gonna be a fucking nightmare because they've done a lot of work to try and absorb all these big sellers. If we start moving under 92s, this is gonna get real nasty real quick. Hands are off mouse. It's so tempting. It's so tempting for me right now. Right, remember, this is the afternoon pullback from Monday. Big selling came in here. There's the squeeze out on the news. Straight back to where we are. So we're bearish, but we can't move under these yet. Remember, these are huge selling lots. We're talking about thousands of lots down here. If they lose the bid here, this can get really nasty because they got very aggressive down here, these sellers, which means they've been paired off by people trying to soak. So I don't really want to get short here, but I also don't really want to miss this if it does come. What app am I using for the big buyers and sellers? I'm using order flow on NinjaTrader. You can use Bookmap, which is above me. So watching these 40s as they squeeze back to 40s here. So again, no position. I'm watching this. It's very, very tempting to get short versus 40s. It's very tempting, but the location is very, very poor given what's happened underneath us. Again, I want to make clear. There's a buyer stuck at 40s. All right, we can see they bought at 40s, and the sellers came in with huge lots here. So we've got like 200 lot, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1300 lots. Aggressive sellers between 20 and 600, right? So if we move under them, they're comfortable. Still absorbing there, 610, 600. New hour candle here as well. It's tempting. It's a 600 check. These are huge levels here, guys. What seconds do I use for the tape? Just 3. Just a 3 lot. Minimum size, I'm assuming you meaning. Just a 3. I don't have it under 3. Okay, 600 check here. If they lose 90s, it's night-night. I'm not looking to go long. There's no part of me looking to go long. I'm looking to, if I'm going to do anything, I'm looking to sell. I'm not looking to go long. And not once today have I looked to go long. I know these sellers are caught, but I know if we get under 90s, they're very comfortable and we can dunk to 400. Remember, I'm looking for a move to 400 today. It's just, oh, not me, someone else in chat. Right, okay, understood. Yeah, I'm not going long. If we base out here long enough, there's a squeeze back. Oh, here we go. Another big seller here. Another 200 lot come in at 90. They're trying to force it under 90. It's so key down here. I cannot tell you how key this level is now. They let go of this. We can go 400s today. So that's another big seller at the low of day at 87 he came in at, technically. And sellers will want to move under that. They won't really want this back over 600. They definitely won't want it back over 610. Here's the move under that seller. You just wonder here. You just wonder. Vic's still not through the 27s yet. Pop back to 6s. Is it 605, 610, 620 look. It won't want it back above 620s, the sellers. They'll be in big trouble if it gets back above 620s. There'll be a squeeze on. I won't be trading the long side. I'll just watch it do it. Starting to absorb down here. Reclaim 6s, 620s, potential squeeze on above 620s, back to 640s, and then a bigger squeeze above that. Again, I'm not playing longs. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. If they start to get crowded short side here, they will squeeze this back up, and they are starting to get crowded. Stuck at uni watching this while paying 32 grand yearly for a degree. Oh, mate, I feel for you. So 20s the level here, and if they lift 20s, they go 50s. Again, it doesn't need to move lower. I'd love to see it 400s, but like we are so crowded. I cannot look at this. Another guy came in down here. We are crowded short side. This is all aggressive selling. We're not moving lower. Think about all this aggressive selling. We're not moving lower. People are absorbing the bid down here. That is a fact. It doesn't mean we can't move lower. It means at the moment we're not moving lower. There is a buyer absorbing all of this pressure at the moment for now. And if these sellers don't get their way soon, then they will get squeezed out and they will start tripping over each other. Remember, it doesn't matter what we think. All that matters is what's happening. Did you ever have these weird thoughts of wanting to get a degree or something while full-time trading? No, because I've already got a degree. I'm 40, man. I got a degree 20 years ago, half my life ago. I think I'm my big trade lot is 30 minimum size. I think I have it set to. Still seeing absorbing on the tape here. Still seeing absorbing on the tape here. 620s coming up, and if they go over that, 640s. What are we doing? It's the 620s check. Getting tight here on the rotation between 600 and 620s. Very tight on the rotation. Is that POC now shifted as well, or you're going to have to watch that as well? You're going to have to watch that POC. This node developing here is becoming absolutely vital. If they stay heavy here, you should see this crack, but this is the worst location of the day, right? This here is the worst location of the day, but if they stay heavy here, you might get this. Any acceptance over here, you'll get a re-squeeze. That location is your over-under. If we make 5 to 10K a day, what degree do we need? Well, you don't. I mean, you don't need a degree nowadays unless you need it for a certain type of job role. When I was growing up, it was very much you had to get a degree or you couldn't get a job. And I got my degree, and then we went into the financial crash, so that was fun. And then no one got a job, and you just sat there with debt. How long I've been trading? Too long, man. Probably full time, like 6-7 years. But I started way before that, but then stopped and had a different career, and then came back to it. You're saying long it, lots of sellers are getting absorbed. I don't think there's a long trigger here yet. I don't think you're wrong. Sellers are getting absorbed, but there's no move out and a pullback that's held. Like, you didn't hold even this, right? Big squeeze, you didn't hold top of the range. Squeeze, didn't hold top of the range. You need to see this for you to really want a long. I would say you need to get above that. Otherwise, you're picking bottoms, and if a big seller finally gets his way, then you're going to get in trouble. Because remember, yes, you've seen lots of absorption here, but what happens if you break down? Well, all the buyers that absorbed get caught, right? There's no long here right now. Not for me. Maybe in your strategy there is, I don't know. But for me, I don't bottom pick. I've got no position in this. Like, I was positioned, if you're new to chat or new here today, right, we were positioned for this move on the way down. So we were, our shorts today were, let me put them in. This break here, I think it was. No, it wasn't that. It was, where's the morning? Here to here. And we did the same here. And then hit here. Right, those are the trades we've had today. All right, they need to get under 88s. Under 88s, you might see it let go. Because that's where that seller came in at 11.03. Here's the 88 test. It is all sell side underneath that. Like, there's no doubt about it. It's all absorption underneath that. But I'll tell you, if all these buyers, if you've got 15 to 2,000 lots who've been absorbing here, if they turn into sellers, if they start getting liquidated, when we start breaking lows, you are going to see one hell of a drop. All right. So while I agree with you, there's been absorption here. If we break, all that absorption will become sellers, and you will get one hell of a drop. That's the risk right now, because you are trying to buy lows because you see absorption, but not because we've moved upside and repivoted. Right, and that last poke up just failed the 600 in front of 600. It's not a good look right now. If we fail 87s now, this could get really nasty really quick. Do you think it's impossible to be profitable trading ICT and SMC? No, it's clearly not impossible, because there are traders that are able to do it. It's definitely not impossible. I think a lot of it is overcomplicated, and in terms of its explanation. And I think that gets people confused, and I think some of it is just incorrect, but it's definitely not impossible. It's not impossible. Look, the truth of the matter is, you could flip a coin, and if you went on a lucky win streak, you'd be profitable trading, wouldn't you? If you have good risk management, flipping a coin is 50-50. All right. Eventually, you'll become profitable. Do I take into account naked POCs? I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, exactly. The 24,000. These 87s, you can see we're hanging on to these 87s here, right? This guy here, these 85s, 87s, this guy here, we're hanging on. If we lose that, it's going to be nasty. We're starting to try and lose it. The auction underneath is good. It's all sell side. But if we lose this, I'm telling you, it's going to be one hell of a drop because there's been so much absorption in here. There's no way I'd be long in this. Here we go. They're starting to get aggressive. If you lose lower day, I would imagine all that absorption stops out and you get like a 50 to 100 point candle instantly. Here's low of day. And I think it's probably going to come now. They're going to look for 540s and below now. Here we go. There you go. Here's the aggression. So whoever said long, I really, 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 really hope that I managed to convince you not to take that, that I managed to teach you that that's not a long, that the only long is once you got above that. And I really hope I kept you safe. It's not about my ego. I hope you learn from it. That's all I care. All I care is that you learn from it. No, I'm not in sales. Like I said, I have no position at this point. Look, these were my positions, right? This is what we made today on stream. I've got no position at this point. Do I think it can drift lower? Yes, but I'm not interested in getting short at the lows. You're short at 604? Yeah, you look good. Short at 604 looks very good. I would say it's, as long as you stay heavy now versus 87s, all right, you look good. I don't think you want it back in front inside of 87s to 600. If you stay short, they stay heavy at 87s, you look good for downside. That's what I would use if I was you for risk tolerance. Here's the 87 check. Straight through 87, so you can check 600 now. So I wouldn't be, this is why I wouldn't get short down here. I wouldn't get short, I wouldn't get long. I just let it do what it wants. If we had managed to be short from here, I'd be willing to hold it, right? Do you remember earlier today, we were like TP1 in here, TP2 down here, what, for the big TPs, right? If we were short from up here, I'd be willing to sit in this. There's a difference from being short here looking for this to being a new money short here. Technically speaking, you can risk like up into this shelf, but it's so, I don't want to get short low of day to move lower. I just don't. It just goes against my strategy. But like I always tell you on stream, that's me. You guys need to trade what you want, how you want to trade. I don't want to trade the lows. Your reading of order flow and sequence of the if-then statements is so much more powerful to keep narrative in mind than ICT concepts. I've learned. The stream is a goldmine. Cheers. Oh, you're welcome, man. Trading is always, these are like some of the things where I think newer traders, with they listen to bad advice, they get stuck. Trading is always an if-then statement. Always. It's not this has to happen 100%. This always happens. No. Bollocks. No, that's not true, right? The statement here was very simple. Sellers have piled in here. If they get caught, we see a squeeze. They pile in again, all right? If sellers are piling in here and we're seeing absorption on the tape, right, it means there's lots of long guys trying to passively hold it. But if longs can't get over this shelf to force this squeeze like they did here, then what happens when we break under this shelf? They get liquidated, right? They become sellers. If all these buyers who absorb become sellers and we reject this level here, right, it should, in theory, do this. If we do this, we should, in theory, do this. These are the opportunities right now on the tape. I don't like either of those opportunities based on where we are. I prefer to sell, right, because momentum is good, but I'm not going to sell the low of day for that move. It can go without me. That's just a rule I'm putting in place for myself. It's always an if-then statement. SBR level, yeah, this is the SBR level right here, the grey box, right? See this grey box? This is your SBR level. So this side of the grey box is SBR, and this side of the grey box is RBS, right? SBR, RBS, right? That's why I don't want to diddle in here. Right now, you're seeing downside pressure potentially. Exactly that. You're right. Remember, this white line across the screen, that is your Monday afternoon pivot. That's your pullback pivot. That's your Trump pullback pump pivot. SBR is support becomes resistance, and RBS resistance becomes support. All right, how we doing on the old likeys, folks? All right, let's get those likes up. How to get my indicator? It's on my website, flowzonetrader.com. You get a version of it for free with the course, and you can upgrade to the pro, which is what I'm using. Okay, 1,000 likes. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. Right, I'm going to get a... Right, I'm going to use the bathroom, get a coffee, type course in chat just once. We'll give away an introduction course. It's just a 2-hour course, very good for someone brand new to trading. And you can always give it to a friend, but very good for someone brand new. I'm going to get a refill, and we'll be back and we'll do some giveaways. Just type it once, please. Don't spam chat. All right, just type it once. how are we doing, team? Oh, it's still not really going anywhere. All right, stalling out. Stalling out. All right, let's pick this winner. Where's it gone? There we go. Soul XS 7642. You hear Soul XS? Soul XS 7642. Nice, congratulations, man. So just send me an email, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, and I'll sort you out with a free course. All right. Introduction course. info@flowzonetrader.com. Hey, Jesse. All right, so rejection of that grey box, same thing, right, folks? Same thing. Right here, it's still building out liquidity. If we find acceptance above, a re-squeeze up, all right? But again, I have no position in this. We've had 3 trades today. Those are the 3 trades today. There were 2, there was one little loss. I can't remember where it was. I've been this, like a 10-pointer, and I think, I can't remember if it's this one. I had like a scratch trade on that and got it the second time round. So, but those are the 3 main trades today. Do I trade live every day? Yeah, Monday to Friday, 9:15, all the way into lunch. But I would advise you get here at 9:15. I know a lot of people come in late. The reason I advise you get here at 9:15 is because at 9:15 to 9:30, we do the pre-market prep. I talk about what I'm looking for and why. And it's important that you get into that routine of doing that. All right, initial balance being retested here on the ES and SPY. Just be careful, folks, if they start to reclaim. VIX is over 27s. Now, the question now is, can VIX hold a bid at 27s? If VIX holds a bid at 27s, we have got to move up to 28.50 and 30s today. If it can't hold a bid at 27s, that's a look above and fail, and we can come right back down. So just like for me, I'm out of this now. Like we've been in a strong move lower today. Look at this, strong move lower. The best short location. Right, let's talk about why we wanted shorts today. Right, the best short location was this here pre-market. All right, I don't know if any of you got that. That was an A+ trade. That was an A+ trade. All right, because we are overall in a range. We looked under the range. We came back into the range. We had the Fugazi Trump pump. We had 3 drives. We failed. We built out liquidity. We left liquidity overnight. We retested that liquidity. That is an instant sell, and we're back into the edge of here. All right, if we lose this, we're coming 400s into this node. Right, that was your A+. This is why we're in a sell, right? Because the main move, why we're looking for sells, the main move is this, this, and this. All right, and it might be that they bid and do this. Might not be. Might be that we build out liquidity here to go lower. We have to find out before, hopefully for the end of the week, right? Maybe not. Maybe we close the week inside the range and we have to, my newsletter looks the same. Week 7, I'm just going to start copying and pasting my newsletter at this point. It's getting that ridiculous. Can I explain the gamma? Why is the green more downside? This is squeeze, right? So this is negative squeeze. So they only position 0 DTEs to 65. This is a negative squeeze potential on gamma. All right, that's like where they think it could max go to. It shouldn't have gone below here. They hadn't priced in below here, but it could go here now. All right, so squeeze back up. So now bulls have a shot here, right? If they start building a bid here for this move. Again, I'm not taking these. I'm telling you what's available. I'm now done for the day, I would say. I'm not going to look for longs today, but if we're starting to build over, think about all the sells that happened in here. If they start to feel uncomfortable, all right, think about all these sells that happened in here. I'm going to zoom that in so you can see them. All these big lots. These are big lots. Remember, 40s is the trigger. So I'd say if 20s holds, I don't know how to draw it on here. I always forget. Where is it? right? So if you see a 20s hold, or maybe even a 600, but really 20s hold and a bid over 40s, you can have some of this move here, maybe even all the way back into this. Right, that's possible on a squeeze out. I will not be taking that. That's the hardest trade in the book. It's a counter trend squeeze, but that is possible if all these players don't get their exit. It's possible. So 40s, so 20s hold, bid over 40s can trigger a squeeze up. It might be that they just come and fill some of this imbalance, but that's what I'd be watching. If you're adamant on the long, that's what I'd be watching. This is the first time today that we've moved over the grey box. Now they would have to hold a bid into it to trigger that squeeze up. Yeah, the set, like, that is some of the most crazy selling I've ever seen down there. It is. I'm not going to lie. It is. So we've just moved from 600 to 40s. Ideally, they pull back here if you're adamant on getting long. Ideally, they pull back into the 20s and 10s before they just lift this thing off. Look at this seller up at 65. Just a casual 803 lot up there. Do you know how many millions that is? 803 lot. So there's the 40s test. Here's the pullback to 20s and 10s. Now buyers have got to step in here and absorb 20s and 10s. 600s if they have to, but they would want to absorb 20s and 10s here if they're going to look for relief. If they don't do it, they're going to be in trouble. Again, I will not be long biased today. There's a good chance that we need like some relief here, but I'm just not. Like, we've had the move that I wanted today. This is what I planned for yesterday, and even the day before we were ready for this. Here's the 20s and 10s, and if they go 600s, they can try there, but I'd say under 600s, the buyers will be in trouble. If I was a buyer here, I'd want it to hold it well in front of that. I'd want it to be absorbing here at 20s to 10s. There is a little imbalance buy side, 605 to 600. Certainly, I would not be interested in this letting go of this grey box. That would be a major problem, and that would be a failed breakout to move lower. It would just be a sweep and a failed breakout to move lower at that case. Right, so if it can't hold this, this becomes available again. And it is an and if situation, right? Buyers must step in here to force this move up. If they can't step in here, they're trying 600s now. If they can't step in here and we come under and reject, we'll come back down to lows. But the auction looks good at the lows, right? The auction looks good at the lows. This is all sell side under, what's this? Under 87s, pretty much all sell side. That's a good auction at the lows, right? It doesn't need to move lower. It doesn't have to repair anything. Again, what I'll remind you, the long in a day like this is the hardest trade in the book. How many trades do I average from 9:30 to 11? Probably 2, I would say. Probably 2, 9:30 to 11. If I'm talking about, I might have a few goes at that, by the way. So it might be 2 trades, but it might take me up to 6 attempts. I will eat losses. I will try something, eat the loss. Try something, eat the loss. Try it one more time, eat the loss. And then I'll probably be done with that trade. I'm willing to normally have 3 attempts at a trade because I'm willing to stop out and have another go. Like today, I had 2 attempts at 2 of those big trades. Right, so we think about the net points we had today. First trade was 100 pointer. Second trade was, I mean, if you got the low, it was 100 pointer, but let's just say 80 pointer. Third trade, so we're net 300 points, right? And I probably ate 20 points, 20 to 30 points of stop loss today for a net of 300 points. Does the flow zone indicator work on TradingView? Yeah, Yulimar. Yeah, it's here. What's up? You not got it working? You might need to change this to -4. But yeah, it's working. If you're having an issue, just shoot me a message. But yeah, it's working. Do I lose my sponsorship? Why no more account giveaways? No. You've had account giveaways every day this week, other than the day that your chat was rude. You even had My Funded Futures come in here and give 50 accounts away. 50. I have Apex accounts to give away. They did just extend the sale as well. They told me yesterday they're extending it to midnight last night, and then I woke up this morning and they've extended it to Friday now, midnight Friday. So you still have 85% sale until midnight Friday now. Alex, I've traded ICT past couple months. Your order flow method makes more sense. I'll be buying the course soon. I look forward to working with you. Nice, man. Looking forward to trading with you, man. How do you get access to the flow zone indicators? Like I said, there is a version of it called the Momo Pro, which comes for free when you do the beginner to advanced course, or you can upgrade to the pro version, or you can just buy the pro version on my website. If you just want to buy it and not learn how to use it, you can do that as well. If you already know how to use it. Lou, I'm going to say this once. Clean your chat up. Calm down. My mods are there for a reason. If you continue, it will be your loss, my friend. All right? I'm here to help. I'm here to provide a service for free. I'm trying to help you guys. Calm it down. All right, buddy? Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Alex said earlier your small account, small position is 1 micro. What's the max amount of micros you do when adding? On a 50K, in this current market, I don't think you need more than three to 5. But it depends like what kind of an account you're playing and if you're in the money, right? So let's say you're one in here. Okay, let's say you're 1 or 2 micros in here and it starts to break away and you get like a pop-up here and you add on. So now you're 3. And then maybe you pull off 2 down here and when you pop up and you can put those 2 back on for a reflush, right? You could trade way more than that. You could trade up to 12. What matters is the type of account, right? The easiest way to add is in an end of day drawdown account. Adding into a trailing drawdown account is very, very hard to do. All right, and managing your stop. You never want to get to a position where if your core position's here, all right, and the swing point is here, you don't want your core position to move under a 50% retracement, all right? So you don't want to be adding under here. You might add a bit on the break, but you've got to make sure that your core position isn't below that break. If you're adding too low and too heavy, you're going to be out the money on your core position, assuming you want to trade the next leg, right? So it's all about core positioning, right? So if you're short here, you're adding on some breaks. Maybe you add a little bit on the break there and you're covering the lows, right? Remember, you're first in, first out. So first in will be first out. So your core will move down as you start to cover. You don't want your core to be down into discount of a swing. That will be a problem. So that's how I manage it, right? And if I get too aggressive at the lows, I've got to peel it all off. Jax, what are you going on about, man? I don't appreciate that. Again, another guy. Please sort it out. Don't be calling me stuff like that. If there is an Apex discount code, yeah, code FCT for Apex. No worries, Edge. That's all good. Your Discord is gold and the course is priceless. I'm glad I found you. I passed my eval today, all because of you. I appreciate you. Hey, amazing work. Amazing work. Do you think the market under Biden was easier than the current market under Trump? I don't. It's not like easier. Less volatile. Less news driven. Less news driven. It wasn't a news. We were in a steadier market. And that's not to say like the Democrats did better or anything like that, but like if you look at the amount of appearances and how social media's used, like what the fuck was Biden gonna tweet? Like, oh, I'm here dribbling in my bib. Like, no one cares. Whereas like Trump's so aggressive with his stance and stuff. He's not very diplomatic in how he talks, and because of that, they're very strong statements. So the market reacts. Like, he's not saying, he didn't come out the other day and say, you know, we're making some good progress in the war. I'll come back to you with a date where we think we might finish the excursion or whatever he wants to call it. And like, no, he just said, yeah, we're done with it. Risk on, right? It's that kind of statement that makes the market move. I don't think it's easier or harder. It's just understanding that the market, we're in a different type of market right now. No, I'm trying not to kick anyone. I'm trying to be calm in chat. You would have noticed the last few days I've had to have a real hard look at myself. Like I said last week, I'm trying to do better, chat. So if everyone can be happy, if we can make money together, then we have a really nice community. What was I up to in my early 20s? Not a lot. Not a whole lot. I was working in the music industry. At that time, I was running nightclubs in London, running doors and events in nightclubs in London. Do I use limit orders or market execution? Both. I try and get filled. When you hear me say, like, I'm looking for a lift up, like, if I'm confident about a level, I'll try and get filled on a limit, all right, or a limit. If I'm not getting that move, I'm getting filled on a market for a breakdown, and then I'm having limits for my TPs. If I don't get filled, I'll just lift my limit up to price and get filled on that. No, that's dirty what they've just done there. Here comes the squeeze there and reclaim. That is dirty that they came down to that pivot again. They should have held that, but they didn't. They're just being arseholes. So squeeze relief now, and he should come and visit 705s. And I tell you what, if they start holding now, you might get a grind back up. It's possible. Look at this squeeze relief. Jeez Louise. Jeez Louise. This dude's a wannabe trader. Uses indicators and trading on prop firms and selling courses. Don't buy this guy's shit. Yeah. Couldn't agree more, mate. Couldn't agree more. So I'm wondering what you're doing here then. Because you must have been here for 2 minutes today. Hilarious. I'm not a full-time trader, but beginner to advanced course and order flow course a good idea, or should I be able to commit fully before making investment? You don't need to be full-time to learn to trade, but like I always say, do as much as you can for free, and make sure you like everything. Yeah, exactly. Liking or hating, the market just behaves differently. It's not worse. Exactly. That's exactly it. What trading platform do I use? I execute on Ninja. Alex, would you say learning discipline on a cash account would be preferred before starting on props? No, I'd say the opposite. If you're learning, you want to lower your risk. The best way to lower your risk is to trade sim, and the best way to learn tolerance of risk is to trade prop, and then you can move to cash. Do I have a girlfriend? I have a wife. Yeah. Been with my wife since 2011. Did I go to illegal raves or play illegal raves? And the only illegal rave I've ever played was in China, and we got shut down by the triads. All right, so they're looking to fill this 700 lot at 700, and then there's a 400 lot at 710. I love seeing this. Tyson in chat. I'd be low to VWAP, baby. I love it. Tyson just, all he trades is that. That's Tyson done. 2 trades for the day, he's made his money. I love it, buddy. Alex, I heard Apex is going to roll out the ability to buy accounts in blocks, 5, 10, 20s. Do you know when they're going to do it? No, I had a meeting with them on Tuesday. I don't know when they're going to do it. I know there's an announcement coming on what happens after the 6 payout as well. So there's lots of positive stuff coming. DJ, I bought a course, now 14 days green. Nice, man. Congrats. Yeah, I never push course. I don't care if people buy the course or not. Like, if you want to buy, it's up to you. You've got free will. Do what you want. If you want to buy the course, buy it. If you don't, you don't. Like, I'm here trying to teach you as much as I can. Like, don't worry about guys like whatever his name was, Robert or whatever. Like, Robert's been in here for 2 seconds. Okay, Robert, you're gone. I tried to give you a chance to calm down. Like, go back and watch this stream. Good luck. I wish you all the best in the future, mate. Don't wish any hate on you, but you're clearly a very sad, bitter person who just wants to spread hate. When all I do here is support and help people. It's unfortunate people like you exist. Imagine coming in here talking shit when we've called this whole market for free, right? And imagine coming in here talking shit. What does that make you look like? If I don't know what I'm doing, why the fuck are you here, mate? All right? Maybe have a good hard look at yourself. Trading requires reflection. I would suggest you need to reflect on your whole life right now. On your whole life, because I think you're a very sad, lonely person to be coming in here doing that. Anyway, he's gone now. That'll be him never back on the channel. His loss. Anyway, nice and calm. We get back to trading, shall we? We've got 15 minutes left. We will do a giveaway as well. We're doing an Apex giveaway today. I've got to elaborate on the triads thing. I can't remember what year it was. Maybe 2015. 2015. We flew to China, to Shanghai, to play a DJ set there. And Reese Slowbo, that's very kind of you. Who else has just given me a gift there? I didn't even see that. Chris Trades, 750 on the 2 Tyson trades on the funded. Thank you, Alex. Catch you guys tomorrow. Be blessed. Man, you guys are so kind. Yeah, flew to Shanghai. It was a legit setup gig, but it wasn't in a legit place. It was in an underground little warehouse conversion. And there was, if any of you are out there, I don't know if it's still there, a club called Mint in Shanghai. And Mint is heavily backed by some triads. All right, so we played an underground set, and we had basically all the guys. The promoter who was promoting us was a promoter from Mint, and we had all the guys from that club who were in partying with us. And I think I got all of 3 songs in. We flew all the way to Shanghai and got 3 songs in before we got the knock on the door. So we stopped. And I spent the rest of the evening drinking Johnny Walker Black, and smoking sheesh. That's how I spent my evening. So all that way just to do that. Shout out to Spencer Tarring. I don't know what Spenny's doing now. I think he's living in Bali. Who's Tyson? Tyson's one of my students. All right, so Tyson's been with me probably about a year now, I assume. Tyson's one of my students, and Tyson went through a bit of a rotation of burning accounts or being profitable and then unprofitable, and profitable and then unprofitable. Remember, if this gets under here, you fail. Buyers need to hold this level. They must absorb it. If it gets under here, you fail. All right, so Tyson went through a little bit of account burning. So what we did is we banned Tyson from taking any other trade other than an initial balance rotation, which is IB to VWAP. That's the only trade Tyson takes, or he probably takes others now, but for a while we limited him to that trade. And guess what happened? He got profitable. So he stopped going round. Think about this. Here's our golf course, right? And it's got bunkers and water everywhere. And Tyson was getting drivers out, right, and slamming it into the bunkers. And I went, hey, Tyson, let's get the 8-iron and let's just stick it on the fairway. Let's get the 8-iron, let's stick it on the fairway. So that's what we did, right? And Tyson got profitable. And he's in chat somewhere. So that's why we call it the Tyson trade. It's an IB to VWAP trade. We named it the Tyson trade because it's what I restricted him to. Got to tip the dealer. Hey, no bad trades. Thanks. No bad days even. Thanks for the W this morning, and thanks for all you do for us. You're a phenomenal teacher. You're blessed by what we are all blessed by what you do. Generously share. Thank you so much. I'll speak to you in Discord. Appreciate you. All I got at the Mo. Thank you for being here. Hey, guys, you don't need to tip. It's very kind of you. You don't need to do any of that, but you guys are the best. I appreciate you all. Thanks for what you do, Alex. Much appreciated. Learned so much from you. I've been tuning in for the last few months now. Nice. I left the fitness industry for the same reason. I hate people nowadays. I think it's an age thing, man. I got to 40 and I was like, I hate everyone. Grumpy old man. Grumpy old man. Let me just turn my aircon off and I'll come back and we do a giveaway. All right, good hold of this grey box for the Bulls, right? This grey box starting to hold for the Bulls. So they've got a chance to lift here. And so they're now trying to defend this range. There's your range. There's your sign of strength. There's the pullback, right? Bulls have a chance to defend for a lift here to come and clean out some of these stops. Right, lose this grey box and it's all over. They got a chance. That's why this grey box was key. They shouldn't have done this dunk under. That's very naughty that they did that, but they did because they didn't want you to get the chance to get long. This is your chance to get long for those that are looking for that counter trend trade. It's not a trade I'm looking for, but that's your chance. Do I think 600 daily is easy on NQ? It depends. I would say it depends on the size of your account. If you've got a big account, yeah, it's very easy. You don't even need size to do that. You could have done it with one micro today, would have done it on each trade, right? $200, $400, $600, and you would have been risking probably like $30, $30, $30. Depends. At the moment, it's possible because the ATR is up and the range is big. It's not always possible. Right? If we're in an inside day and we're just in a 100-point range rotation, it's not always possible. Bro, do I know Andy Pernell? He told me he knows a guy who gave up on DJing and went to trading and made it. Would be funny if you'd be this guy DJing. I don't think I know Andy Pernell. I didn't really give. I don't know if I gave up on DJing. I mean, I had a fantastic career DJing, and I'm still in business. Like literally, still I'm working on a original for a new drama pilot at the moment with the guy that I used to work with from Tough Love. So it could be me, could be someone else, could be anyone. I don't know. There's a lot of DJs out there. Bought the course this morning. I'm up 2,300 since your stream. We'll dive into the course this afternoon. There you go. Paid for the course and some. Nice. Alex, I'm planning on buying your beginning to advanced and volume trading course bundle. Will it also cover the flow zone indicator? Yeah, it does cover the flow zone indicator. When I have a minute, can I show us exactly what the IB trade was today? Yeah, it's hard to see, but there's a purple line down here. You see this purple line? Right, this purple line is your IB low. So your IB low and IB high is your high of day and low of day in your first 1 hour of trading. Right, your first 1 hour of trading. When we come below the initial balance and we don't find downside pressure, we turn back inside. We call that a failed auction. It's just very simple auction theory. When we have a failed auction, the most common area to trade back to is VWAP. is VWAP. So what Tyson always trades is a failed auction, right, for a move back to VWAP. Now, when do failed auctions not work? Well, failed auctions don't work. If we set the IB up here today, if we went in a tight coil and we were in downside pressure, well, there would not have been a failed auction. There would have been an auction trade. And then you're looking for a 1.5, 1.61, or a 2 move based on a fib. Right, you're looking for an extension of the initial balance. Now, we've had both of those this week. Most days, both, well, at least one of these will become available. So let's have a look. What do we have this week? That looks messy. Where's our IB high there? So there's our IB low. All right, so this day, yesterday was an expansion model by the looks of it. There's your expansion. All right, so is that yesterday or the day before? I can't see it. Yesterday. All right, so yesterday the IB was from here to the high of day. That's your first hour of trading. Once we rejected the initial balance, we did an expansion model down to the 1.5. Right, and then overnight we got down to the 2. Very, very, very common trade. The IB trade's nice for newer traders because it stops you looking for anything else. Here we go. Here's an initial balance. IB low, IB high. We can look at the expansion model. And we hit the 1.5. Once we lose the IB, end of day, we retrace back to VWAP, point of control, 50% retracement. Make sure my mic's back on. Yeah. All right. Last few questions, and then we'll do a giveaway. What's the move right now? Back inside the range, right? Here's value for the day. You're in a rotation in here now. So you're holding grey box. We're upside from here. Right? The question is, can it expand value high? Can it come and take out liquidity at 720, 750, 769? All right. Can it run these stops? Right? So if it's going to run those stops, it's got to come up here. If we lose this grey box, again, this will be a 2-leg failure, downside pressure. But we've done a big move today. It might be that we need to build out liquidity for the remaining session because we've done a huge move already. I wouldn't want to be short at this point. Like, there is an argument for this move here, but again, you'd be shorting low of day, previous week's discount, trying to get to the 400s. It's a very, very risky move. We'd rather it builds out liquidity now because we've used, think about how much liquidity we've used. Think about everyone's pain point we used. It's funny, I clearly don't know what I'm talking about thanks to that guy. All right, we've used these guys' pain points to move lower. We've retested them. They've got out of their buys and got into sells. We've come down to the midpoint, this node here, all right? If we use any buyer in here for a sell, we can move lower, but we're going to have to wash that to come down. If we hold this and the sellers at those lower day get trapped, we come right back up and drift probably into these 800 level, all right? So we're in a rotation. This is not uncommon. How do we know it's not uncommon? If we zoom out, we've been in this rotation many, many, many times, right? We're coming back to the edge of range, the low side edge of range. Yesterday we printed the high side edge of range. We've rotated from high side to low side. The question is, can we find acceptance lower? Or are we going back into the box? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 weeks in here. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. 6 weeks of the same stuff. But that's where we're at, folks. So lower your expectations now. Rather tip a little to my teacher. As you said, you've taught me the most so far, and I've got endless support, mate. Exceptional trader and teacher you are. Hey, thank you so much. It's so kind of you all doing this. Why is someone spamming 25 live account? Don't know what you're saying. Oh, it's a 25,000 live account. Well, It's your own account, yeah. You should be able to make $600 out of a 25K account. Intermediate trader here. ICT nets me 20K a month, but I'm looking to transfer to order flow. What's the best package to buy on your website? Just do the order flow course then. If you're just looking to do order flow, just do that course. You don't need anything else. You can hear the door hinge go. All right, noted. I'll get some WD-40 later. How does the grey box work? It's just volume. If you look at the volume shelf, right, this is huge volume. Right, it's also point of control. It's also previous week's value. So we know this is the most contested area. This is the most traded area of the day. So if we're above that, even though we're in a bearish tone, we're above that, there's potential for a squeeze higher because there's so many sellers down here. If we're below that, we can think about continuation lower. Right now, it should act as a support system like it just did here. All right, but if we trade under it, we can trade lower again because we've now done a 2-leg. So if that's failed follow through, that is possible this afternoon. It's not a trade that I feel comfortable with given where we are, but it's possible. Just 3 trades in a day. That was awesome. Yeah, just the 3 trades for me today. But like I said, I had 2, well, 1 break even, 1 small loss in one of these, like before getting the full moves. I have a problem that I always look for shorts. I don't know, but I love shorts and I always get tired trading versus the up. I don't know what to do. You need to definitely change that, Eddie, because shorts are we're trading an index, right? Indexes are built to go higher, right? They're absolutely built to go higher. So if you're going to be long-term short position trader, you're going to really struggle. We're in a market at the moment which is sort of bearish rotation, so you're able to put food in your plate. But if we go back into a bullish market, and bullish markets last a lot longer than bearish markets, and historically, we are built to go higher, they will rebalance these markets to make it go higher as much as possible. So you need to learn to be long if you're going to trade indexes. If you want to be a short bias trader only, I would advise you move off positive indexes like the NQ and ES. I would say go and look at like small caps, or go and hunt for overpriced bullshit stock scams with loads of ways of them washing money, like loads of offerings built in and all that stuff. Go and focus on that if you're going to be just short bias. Or you can turn your charts upside down. Or what you could do is trade the ETFs. You'd need to be triple leveraged, which is not ideal. But on days where you should be long on the NQ, you could short the SQQ. The SQQQ. You could do that. You could short the SQQQ. That would be one thing to do. Massive bounce on Nvidia. Let me have a look. Yeah, nice rotation off the lows. Held the 82s, coming right back for those 85s. It's a good move. Yeah. All right, into lunch. I'm an egotistical person. Everyone else here is a bunch of losers. Who's upset you today, my friend? Mickey? Who's upset you, Mickey? How do I expect everyone to know everything? I'm literally teach non-stop. So weird. I just don't get it. Like I don't get the attack. Like I just don't get it. It's so weird when I'm teaching as I go, when I'm calling levels as I go, when I'm showing you what's available as I go. I don't get the outward looking hatred. All I know is that means that you've got problems. That's all I know from that. It means that you're not trading well. It means that you've got an issue. It means that you're unable to self-reflect. And it means that you're in a vortex that you're never going to get out of. Because if you're pointing fingers at everyone else all the time for your issues, you're never going to change, which means you're going to be the same person stuck in your same vortex and hole. And I'm not even trying to hate on you. It's just a fact, man. Yeah, I know, JD. I'm being calm today. I'm trying my best, JD. Like, honestly, I'm trying my best. No, there's no way I could be a therapist. I'm just going through a patch of being calm. just no way. All right, Mickey, I give you a chance, mate. Like, as per usual, you can do what you normally do, I guess, and go and find, create another account and keep going on hating and jerking yourself off in your mum's basement. Like, feel sorry for you, honestly, at this point. I gave you a chance. It's really weird. People are weird. You're really brave on the internet. I'd love you to get brave in front of my face. How do I determine a failed auction from a trending auction for the IB trade? You just use the IB and volume as your under over. So, right, why was this a good one today? All right, if we think about this initial balance level, right, the initial balance level lines up pretty well with previous week's value area low. So we know that this is a sensitive area. All right, this area here becomes sensitive. We build out volume here, don't we? We build out volume here. All right, so we now have an area that we can use. Over 25, we're probably bullish. Under 600, it's 602, but under 600, there's a chance for bearish. So we now need to understand what goes on in that area. Right, if we have a look at what's happened in that area, what we've seen is insanely aggressive selling at initial balance and below. All right. So if we have a look here, thousands of orders sell side. And if we have a look at the delta, like we've talked about, 605, 600, and 88, those were the big levels. We never aggressively moved lower other than this first break. And then we saw absorption at 1125, right? We saw absorption at 1125. This is a good auction at the lows where it's all sell side. So once we get back above IB, if you see IB's at 17, look at all these sellers now below IB, right? So if we can hold a print around here, there's a very good chance of a squeeze out. Now, this was probably the long opportunity here, I would say. Very hard to get this move here. But this pullback inside towards the initial balance, which holds when we now have all these sellers stuck, right, which is the grey box. Remember, this is the grey box. That's your long opportunity back towards the high. Now, what are we having at the high now? Aggressive buyers getting caught, right, back into this node that we talked about up here. We'd probably want to trade up here. We now have aggressive buyers caught at the high. So they might be in big trouble here. And we might do a rotation here from 700s down to 620, 600s again. Might be 100 point of chop here for a while. Hopefully that helps. Okay, last few questions, and I want to do a giveaway, and then I'm going to get out of here. I do block them, yeah. Rain Life, I give them a chance. I'm like calm. I give them a chance for a minute to just calm. Like some of them in chat have said stuff today, and then, you know, sort of calm down and apologize and realize that, you know, I get it. Maybe they've blown accounts and they're upset with themselves. We all get annoyed, but like, just need to be inward looking, not outward looking. So I try and give them a chance, and then if they can't fix, then they get blocked. It's simple. All right, nice guys. Looks like as most of you covered. So here's the flush back down to grey box. Now they have to hold grey box. If they don't hold grey box, you'll see a new low because it's now 2 legs with a failure to break out with buyers caught at these highs, which we just talked about on the order flow. So buyers must absorb this now because they've now got buyers trapped up here. If they don't absorb this, this is still possible today. It's a very hard trade, but it's still possible. Let's set this giveaway up. Right, you know the score, folks. Type FCT once in chat. I'll give you a minute or two. That's your best code for most of your prop firms. Apex right now, 85% off until the end of the week with code FCT, and we'll do a giveaway of an Apex account here. Oh, dearie dear. So back down to these 90s. We might get choppy around here for a bit. This is looking nasty. Your ATR is right up at like 45 points per M1 candle right now. So be careful if you are trying to trade this. They're going to test these 600s and 620s. So it's 87s to 620s is the key area, basically. So do they reject this grey box or top of this grey box, and do they see follow through underneath to clean all this up now? Or are we going to just go back over 620s and squeeze right the way back over 25s, right the way back up? We're about to find out. I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. One sec. All right, 25s. Let's see if they lift, what they do with this. And let's pull the winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jordan Clark. Jordan Clark is the winner of a free Apex account today. Congratulations. Let me know you're here, Jordan. Yeah, there you are. Nice. I'm just making note of your name here. So just send me an email. All right, info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube, and I'm going to send you a code for a free Apex account. You can use it for any Apex account that you want. All right, totally up to you. Totally up to you. They might get heavy here. I'm watching this just in case they're going to do the next leg into lunch, which would be hilarious. I don't like the way they've set it up though. It's getting nasty down here. Like I said, we're now in a range, right? We're in a value area range for the day. You can see the high and the low. The question is, are they willing to expand it down here? We're asking a lot of them to do that, but are they willing to do it? It's possible they're willing. I'll stay here a couple more minutes just in case we get this move because it'd be hilarious. You hear the squeaky door now. Looks like we should go lower. Yeah, it's very possible. We're asking a lot of it to do it, but it's possible. Remember, there's lots of sellers down here who are currently stuck. We're not moving under their price yet. All right, just remember that. We're not aggressively moving under price yet. All that we've had is buyers got caught on that push up to sevens. Right, a buyer just stepped in here to try and absorb. See this level here into the 80s. Move this along a bit. Right here, we have all these sellers who are still caught. Right, we're not breaking away from their average price. Right, so if these sellers get absorbed again, we're going to go right back up and test these imbalances and right the way back up because we're now in a range. It looks worse and worse for the day. And we can chop here all day. They can build out liquidity here all day if they really want to. It's very, very possible. I was just going to give this a minute to see if they wanted to do a flush under 600s into lunch, which would be fun. But it doesn't look like we're going to do it. It looks like we're just going to get stuck. So I'm probably going to get out of here, take a little break. Those on Discord, I will be back. Give me like 30, 40 minutes to walk my dog and get some fresh air. And then, yeah, as always, folks, we're going to go away and do the same thing tomorrow, right? We're going to look for the same setups tomorrow. Same kind of process, and we'll go from there. Big love, everyone. Be kind to each other, all right? Look after each other. No reason to be hateful, all right? Have an inward look at yourself if you're one of those people. Just fix up, all right? Take care, everyone.